Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you're all doing well. But more importantly, blue morning to you because, in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. Yes, quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about again whether it is for that's whether it is done for us in terms of our pursuit of Modric, Enzo Fernandez, the possibility of getting him, Marcus Thuram, where we're at, and then Moises Caicedo, and then the sensational 20-year-old kid, English international, Noni Madueke. Quite a lot. Plus some topics I'm sure those in the chat will bring up. Also, again, the rumors about, again, the clear out, or you call, again, I'll let you know what I think about that. So we'll get into it immediately. Let me say hello to those in the chat. I left my microphone far away from me. Please let me put it on closer so you can hear me. More importantly, I hope you're all doing well. It's going to be a fun one today. Quite a lot to talk about. Yeah, let's see. I'm sure one of them, the clear out one, will probably spark a heated argument for sure. So quickly as it is, again, it's always about those in the chat, those on the panel, because we're family here. And Liam Lane, as usual, one of the first to join the show. Blue morning, Kachila panel and chat. Blue morning to you too, bro. I hope you're doing well. Please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. Yes, keep liking the stream. We have 20 likes already, so yeah, it looks like we're doing well today. We'll get it to 100 as soon as possible. This talk about sack the players is another joke unless they are going to give them away on a free. Example, Ziyech cannot get him. Ziyech, we cannot get him out because of the wages. So how are the others any different or more PR? I think it's more PR just again to deflect the situation away from the manager. I'll talk about that even more. To me, it's just more like scapegoating the players. Yes, they're not the best. Yes, they look like they sulk on the pitch. Some of them look like they want to be there. We haven't seen the fight that we want to see. But we'll get to that in a bit. And Kalita, sorry, it was a machine. A machine is policing the chat, not a human being. So when you use all caps, it will delete you immediately. So I apologize for that. So we'll get into it again. Matthew Lee Benjamin, he says, big up, brother. Again, nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. What do we have here again? Like the damn video. That's your ID. And again, we should stop. If you're a mod, stop using all caps, because if those that are not the mod, if they use all caps, they will get. Should I use the word suspended for about a minute or so, or 5 seconds? Yes, keep liking the video, guys. We're at 25 likes already. Greetings, coach said Joseph Wanne. Nice to see you here, brother Chinedu. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Felix, we need to sign Felix a perfect Hazard replacement. They're still different, but we're not going to get into that today at all. I agree with you. I agree with you too. I guess we should offer at the moment a Ziyech plus Cash or Kai. The question you want to ask yourself, will they accept it? They value the player differently. So yeah, there's a chance will knock our valuation of the player, and their valuation of the player in question isn't even close. We need to get rid of Deadwood ASAP. We don't really have Deadwoods. We just have players who think they're not playing for the badge right now. But that's, by the way, big up. I've been told Potter has lost at the dressing room. There's 11 first-team players that want him out. Yeah, I've seen that story myself. That's why I'm saying the rumors of the clear out is probably most likely a PR, or just to deflect things off of Potter, because the truth remains, no matter how you see it or how you argue it, he is under pressure. But I'm not going to get into that right now. We have a whole lot of stuff lined up to talk about, and we'll get to that in a bit. This one here says, what does it say? Okay, this is again beautiful and love. Yep, Udochi, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. Happy New Year, bro. Fashi Kenny, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The poor performance of Chelsea has put us fans in a shambolic state of mind. Okay, that is a good one. And hey, my brother Kalito, big up, bro. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, and I'm glad you're on that. Yeah, when I explained it's a machine, not a human being. Nightbot, it's not a human being. Thank you so much. And I hope you're doing well, bro. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas. And I hope, again, you're enjoying the new year. May all your good wishes come true, brother. Let's see what else we have here. And if you're watching, if you haven't, Worldwide Chelsea, Carlito is the co-owner. If you haven't, go check out Worldwide Chelsea and make sure to subscribe. I'll find time to share the link in a bit so you can go check it out. It's one of the best Chelsea YouTube channels there is around. Tiba Salifa, Tudo. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. You have to explain whatever language it is you spoke there. Explain to me. Maybe I'll learn something new. Madueke is clean as white. Whistle, yo. The kid is such a fine dribbler. He dribbles again. He doesn't break his sweat when he dribbles. Some people, when they dribble, you can see that they're struggling a bit, but he dribbles with ease. You can just the type of dribble you see from, I think, was it Xavi or Iniesta? I think Iniesta. That's the type of dribble you see. But again, he dribbles more than Iniesta. If you're doing a panel, okay, I can jump. We have a full house already. Yeah, because usually I know how many people that will join in a day. But I'll keep my mind open. Once there's a space, I'll shoot you the link. What do we have here? Oh, for 25 minutes. Okay, let's see what happens. Big up, guys! Smash the like button. Says my brother Bobby. We have about, again, 28 likes. We should be doing better than that because we have 45 people watching. If we are not getting results, we may as well just buy Madueke and Felix to make a front four of Fofana, Felix, Madueke, and Nkunku. That will all five-star skills on FIFA. That will be ultimate vibes. Okay, that's where you're learning how to scout for us. No worries, Broken. I will watch. Again, once I find space, I will shoot you the link. We need a backup for James, and also Kai needs to get injured too. Really? Oh my goodness. If you want to go to heaven, you better change the way you talk. You're talking about your fellow human being. Even if you don't like him, I don't think it'd be nice to say it like that. I'd rather say, again, the injury of one player is a blessing in disguise. I'm praying for one to get injured. No, please. Money Misroad is the original name of Chelsea owner right now. Typical Nigerians, but I get what you're getting at there, bro. What's up, coach? Again, blue morning, brother. You are the only coach and Chelsea fan I can trust now. Potter is a joker and a clown. Wow. Okay, but I appreciate that praise right there, a compliment if you prefer. Again, more importantly, blue morning to you all. I appreciate you all finding time to join the show. And we are at 30 likes already. You guys are absolute legend, and I appreciate that. We get into the topics right away. But first of all, I want to say hello to my brother. Always, even though he's at work. Okay, I don't know if he works Saturdays, but he always finds time to join the panel, and I sincerely do appreciate that. So again, Bobby, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, coach. I'm good. Reflecting a lot on the game tomorrow. Just wondering how we're going to go about that one, really, because the faith we have in our coach, our manager, is completely diminished. I just don't see how, knowing him as we do, he's going to do anything significantly different, which he's going to need to. So the game tomorrow is a worry. You said something which I have to counter. You said there is a rumor of a clear out. I don't think it's a rumor. I think it's a fact. I think the
then we'll get to it. When we get to it, I have my argument, and I know you will like that one most likely. I know
it's not about whether I like it or not. I'm looking at it pragmatically, because if we are hoping or wanting them to fire Potter, that's not going to happen. I think because they have made that decision, they are ready to go down with the ship if they have to. They're going to stick with this guy, certainly till summer, at least. They're not changing. They're not going to change. So, first of all, the expense of changing, the humiliation,
Bobby, you're a smart man. The humiliation, that word is important in this argument right here, because they would want to prove that they're right. They didn't make any sort of mistake. But go ahead.
Yeah, they will. They want to prove they're right. They've invested in that decision. They've got rid of, a A-lister former manager. They will not change Potter. And in a way, in a strange sort of way, it may help to change the player power
mentality
culture. Yeah,
and
because
mentality.
now the
Oh
players,
yeah. Go ahead. That's the most important. Go ahead, Bobby.
yeah, the players will be made to realize that they are the expendable ones. It's not, let's just down tools if the manager isn't really playing us because we'll get him fired. No, you'll be fired. And if they acquire anywhere near the number of players that they're being linked with, especially this January, you can be sure that the axe is going to fall on some performers. I want them to get Madueke. I want them to get Thuram. I really do. I want them to get Caicedo. I want them to get Enzo. Any number of those this January, if they can pull it off, is a signal to the players there. Perform. If you don't perform, you're gone. Now, some of them may say, "Oh, I'm not happy. I want to go and do this and do that." Well, I really don't see, honestly, I don't see, if you can't perform at Chelsea, you're not going to perform anywhere else. You're not, unless you're in a club that will just spoon feed you. But after a while, they'll get tired of it because everybody wants their A-listers to do things.
Yeah.
You go to somewhere like Real Madrid, there's only so much they will tolerate because they've got so many good players. You go to Man City, the same thing. So you probably end up at the bench if you go to any of those top clubs, or if you go to a mediocre club, well, that's your level. So I think a lot of players are under big threat because the manager's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think I will still bring back this topic when all the panelists again arrive because it's a very serious one. You mentioned something, if anything, it will, more importantly, again, as strange as it may sound, it will help us solve the player power issue because it has endured, really. It has endured. At one point, you would think, that's it, it's gone. The players that are usually involved in it, again, they're all gone. No, I think it's still there. You could actually argue that's one of the reasons that Thomas Tuchel struggles towards the end of his tenure as Chelsea manager. But yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. Go ahead.
But sort of when player power actually started, that culture started at Chelsea. It started with Roman. Roman Abramovich was a fan. First of all, that's something people really need to take on board. And when he bought his players, he loved his players. He liked to get to know them. He would meet them personally. He would, there are many things he did for certain players during their career, after their career, that lots of people don't know. The help, the way he reached out to people like Didier Drogba, even Ed John Terry. He liked these people, even old players, Ballack, and he developed a personal relationship with his players. So when things weren't wrong, Roman was always of the mind that it was never the players, it was always the coach, because the players were perfect in his eyes. But this is a different scenario now. One, it's not one person that owns the club. And two, these people are looking for functionality. They're looking at the whole machinery, if you like. And if the car isn't moving, there's a part of the engine that isn't working. And it's not always because of the driver or the mechanic.
Yeah.
It's because the part is bad and needs changing. And that's their whole approach. So the days where players would think, right, we're in charge. Who's this geezer in the dressing room? He hasn't won any Champions League. He doesn't have any pedigree. It's gone, because if they start to see and recognize that this man is there because the bosses have put them there, and if I don't make it work under him, I'm the one that could be in trouble.
Yep, you're there to do a job, get your job done.
Yeah, and I'm for that, to be honest. I'm very for that, because as deficient as Graham Potter is, there are certain things that are just not acceptable. He's not the one that miscontrols the ball in the final third after receiving a through pass, Mr. Havertz. He's not the one that passes to the opposition 9 times out of 10 once he gets the ball, Mr. Kovacic. He's not the one that can't dribble or win the ball in midfield or get shoved off the ball easily, Mr. Mount. He's not the one that is passive and slow in defense and can't really break sweat to get the ball easily, Mr. Koulibaly. He's not the one that doesn't come out and catch the ball from a cross in midair or stay rooted and save the ball, Mr. Kepa. So, there are lots of things to look at in terms of the playing staff. And I think because, you see, the good thing about this situation, if you can get a good thing, because I'm always a believer in the word, out of adversity gives birth to strength, is it's exposing the weaknesses in the team. And it's an opportunity now to address those weaknesses. It's quite clear now who carries Chelsea. It's very, very clear. N'Golo Kante, 100%. Reece James, 100%. It's very, very clear. Even when the defense was slightly strong, Wesley Fofana was there. That's very clear. Although, to be fair to the defense, I think of any department, they're probably the least to blame because they're the least protected. They're put under the most pressure because of the deficiencies all round. If the forwards were scoring, the defense wouldn't really be noticed. If the midfield was providing for the forwards, they would be scoring. So there are other deficiencies. But now we actually have the opportunity to look under the microscope at players that have been hyped to be able to do this, to do that, Mr. Mount. Players, even you, Mr. Havertz. Players that, we're looking at, they're going to be the future. They're going to be... Now the question is being asked, are they going to be the future? Or do they need more development? Is it possible to develop them any further, Mr. Gallagher? Because I don't think you're ever going to be technically gifted. You're always going to be a workhorse. Can we use you where you're best efficiently as a workhorse? Possibly. But what does that mean? You're a squad player, period. This is where we are getting the reality of the matter. And there are some things that are difficult. For me, it's hard to point out Mount's deficiencies, to be honest with you, because I wish for him to be that player, but he's not. It's hard for me to look at certain aspects of the midfield. I used to love Kovacic, but now I'm beginning to see the deception of Kovacic. He will get the ball in a game once or twice, and he comes up with some magnificent dribbles and ball controls. And that's all we remember. We forget the number of times he loses the ball, the number of bad passes he has, the fact that in the final third, he offers nothing. He can't shoot. He doesn't even hit the target. Those are key things. Whereas with someone like N'Golo Kante, we know that often N'Golo Kante can't shoot. He's not a finisher. But sometimes he does. Some of the best goals we've seen at Stamford Bridge have come from Kante. You know what I mean? But you will never get that from Kovacic. Never. You will never get that from Jorginho. Jorginho has been so exposed now as a luxury that there is no way back for him. Honestly, I cannot see it because in the Premier League, you can't have luxuries on the field. You can't have players that are to be protected or reliant upon. Every man jack has to stand up and be counted because it will be called upon you. If the so-called lower teams like Fulham can threaten so immensely, you've got to perform. Do you know right now we're playing worse than Fulham, Villa, Wolves, Southampton? You name them all outside of the top 6. Chelsea's not performing anywhere near that. I don't even feel confident playing Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace, even when we're performing, they were always a difficult team. It's just that we will know, oh gosh, we've got a difficult team here. Right. We've got to come out and show them who's boss. Right now, I'm like, gosh, we've got a difficult team here. My goodness, I don't even know what we're going to do. That's the difference. And that then comes to the manager. We are still hoping for this guy to turn something around. I don't know. I think there are lots of mitigating circumstances that keeps him clear in my mind of the absolute axe. No, a lot of injuries. The fact he's not been around long. The fact that we know that he's somebody that needs time to develop his team. But one thing I'm beginning to see is that he's not really a guy that I would expect to have much imagination in his productivity or in his output with his players. Is that the truth, or is it because he doesn't have the players to show his imagination? Well, time will tell. So Potter has time. He really does. He's got some time in the bank
whether we like it or not, I think for obvious reasons.
Yeah. And we just have to pray that his deficiencies doesn't take us down. But also it's exposed yet another thing. The owners, they've made a bit of well, I don't know, maybe they felt it was a financial waste. I don't know, but their reorganization of the medical staff is a big issue. It is a big issue. And,
we'll get about that one so it doesn't distract us. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it has to be part of the mix because even they're looking to investigate it. And the physio department needs looking at. They fired the head physiotherapist. Now, I've heard they outsourced some of it. I don't know how true that is. But the fact of the matter is that we have an injury list as long as your arm. And none of them are coming back to fitness. Certainly not anytime soon. And the two key ones that tried to come back reverted back to type. Now, there's something wrong there. There's something wrong. We have to look at the medical department. What are you doing? What are you not doing? For example, are you not advising correctly? Are you not allowing these guys to build up the muscle mass in the relevant areas to protect the former weakened tissue? There's so much in the science of that needs to be done properly. Why do you feel the need to fly players out of the country for testing from injuries? I mean, that in itself is an issue. Why can't you develop your own department? So even that has to be looked at. So the club is really going through a restructuring from top to bottom. And that's why we're walking this pain. If we come out of this correctly, we will be that super club again, even better than we were before.
I hope we do.
Well, this is the thing. You got to pray because it's, when you're going through a process, it's painful, but you got to make the right moves while it's happening so you can come through successfully. And we all have to just wait and see. We have to wait and see.
Let's see what happens. Again, if you're watching,
good thing is, Coach, they're trying. They're not backing off. They're not doers. They're doers. You see what I'm saying? They're doing.
Yeah, but that's the list of our problems.
Well, I would rather somebody doing something and hope it's the right thing than somebody not doing something and watching the pack of cards collapse. That's when it will collapse. But if you're proactive, you're probably on the right path to the solution. So,
yeah. Okay, guys. If you're watching, if you haven't, please take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we have 95 people watching, and we have just 45 likes. If you're watching, even if you're not participating in the chat, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream so we can. Again, it does go a long way for the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. None of this is Potter's fault. We literally have 12 players injured. Get the best manager in the world. And again, he won't be able to make a difference. Here's the thing, Will Richardson, I get your argument. The injuries hasn't helped. But there are things you'd see, yes, the manager should be doing something differently here. Do you agree with the manager when Raheem Sterling, he was one of the worst players, again, in the squad, and he still get to start, again, about 4 or 5 games in a row? while better players were on the bench. That is just an example. I'm not saying, again, he's the worst coach. I'm just saying we should be doing better than we're doing tactically and otherwise. Yeah, the players haven't been the best. Injuries haven't helped, but you can't tell me none of this is his fault. Excuse me.
I would have to disagree.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Let me just try and catch up with what we have quickly, Ty. I'll come back to you in a bit. Good morning, Coach Levi. Nice to see you too. Let's stick together, Blues family. I think I like this. Jamalo. This is, again, this too shall pass. Yeah, you sound like you don't miss church every Sunday. We are on our way back to our higher life again with our determination on our rebuild. Now, let's get Madueke in, Turaya in. Let's see who the players the club will be able to bring in this January transfer window, but it's looking good. Madueke is a fine player. Please like and subscribe when you enter. I say help the channel reach a wider audience. We're at 48 likes right now. Let's try to get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. Again, I'm dancing. Okay, I'm Danik FC10 on Football Fans Tribe. I would like to call in. Then you have to, again, first of all, join me. Message me via Twitter, and I'll give you again the link to the panel immediately. And yeah, I know you're talking about that Niger channel. I'm always there. I'm sure you've seen me there too. Then again, how far are you there? I hope so. You there well. I need all players fit so that we can collect as many, again, 20 to 30 million euro fees for Gallagher, Kai, Mount, Ruben, Pulisic, Ziyech. We could easily raise 120 million euros to cover fees for a good CM. Here's the thing. The change, even if you want it, will not be that drastic. And hi to you, hi to Lucky Scene. Liam Lane again here says, as I said, one thing is saying you will get rid of them. Actually, doing it is another. Players' wages have been the problem for years, and trying to get rid of them had to wait for Alonso to go on a free. Yeah, it's not that simple. It's not something that can be done. Again, you snap your finger like this and boom, it's done. It's complicated, actually. Some of them are on a very high wage. Some of them still have about 2-3 years left on their contracts, which means, again, yeah, it's not going to be easy to let them go like that. You'd have to pay them something in bulk. Manchester Derby is upon us. Enjoy it. I hope, again, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say, really. 3-3 draw. It could be a high goal scoring game, but we'll see what happens. Guys, please keep liking the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate that. It looks like the poll is helping. Let's see where that takes us to. Big up again this morning to Kuchila. Big up to you too, brother. DJ South. I appreciate seeing you here. The fixture more exciting than Chelsea games. Yeah, and I don't blame you. I know why you're saying that. And the next one, I don't really feel like reading it because I know I'm in trouble. What's the news on Enzo Fernandez? We'll get to that. It's lined up there on the screen. We'll get to it in a bit. And the Beautiful Game says, morning, Coach Bobby. These players have struggled with the pressure of success. So how are they going to cope with the pressure of a relegation battle, which this club has never seen before? I don't think it will get to that. Before it gets to that, something will happen. Something drastic will happen. And I don't want to say what I think will happen, really. But I get your point, and it's usually always hilarious to see. I was afraid to read it because I wasn't sure what you were going to say. If the FA catch us in the drop zone with a few games to go, they will relegate us. I think if you issue Bobby this one, he would say yes. I think they would do it because they don't like us. That's the truth. My brother, you're right. Prince Wall, Joseph, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. At this point, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, just a bit of respect to an OG here, DJ Saab. Do you all see the Daily Telegraph morning headlines? TB, again, giving fullback to Porter, and Todd Boehly giving, let me just say it fully, Todd Boehly giving fullback into Porter, and the future of Koulibaly, Alba, Ziyech, Pulisic, and Kai, all will be sold in the summer. Yeah, it sounds easy. I don't think that would be the case, but let's see. Let's see whether that happens. That is according to Matt Law. It is. It can be. Who wrote the article? Matt Law. I think he just mentioned it. I don't know. Coach, again, let's provide the following: Ramsey, Kamara, Oli Watkins. Okay, of Aston Villa. Eze Olise of Palace, Kolo Moami of Frankfurt, Ishmael Kone of Canada, Moa of the USA, Tosin of Fulham. Tosin, not really. He's not the most mobile for me. If anything, he's one of the tallest on the pitch and can, defend set piece quite well. Again, what else do we have here? Again, Kai is a very good player. They should leave him. Yeah, you should slug it out with those in the chat. Injuries are not an excuse. We once won a Champions League with an injured Cahill and Luis, and a suspended club captain and an elite coach makes what he has work. That is the strongest argument, we have against Potter. We have to do better with what we have. It just look again. It's an excuse. Even he has accepted he's not going to make excuses given the number of players we have injured. So I agree with that one. Liam, again, I think he will. Kai should be one of them. I don't think Kai should be one of them. Manchester City ready to make an offer for him in the summer. I don't think we'll sell Kai. Forget that. Again, whoever said something that makes sense to a certain measure, but made up a lot of stuff, actually, if we're being honest. How far have we reached in signing Thuram? I'm not sure where we're at. We'll get to that in a bit. Mudryk is going to Arsenal this January. Enzo will go to Arsenal in the summer. Yeah, it sounds easy. I don't think they'll spend that much money in the summer after spending that much money for, again, Mudryk, because it's looking like Mudryk is headed towards their direction. But we'll see what happens. Again, how far are we with Enzo? You've heard that too. Kuwaiti says Chelsea will end up sacking Potter because we cannot win any team above us. Sack him now and then bring in a new coach. Okay, now the window. No, you don't need window for coaches, really. But that's, by the way, except if there's some new rules I don't know. If that's the case, please do let me know. And the priest, nice to see you, brother. Again, welcome to the show. Danny will be a great addition to the panel. Okay, I would also like to see Mykhailo from Football Fans Tribe because he's extremely Potter out. So you'd love to hear him. Okay, if he comes, just message me via Twitter. It's easy. And I'll try to follow. Again, I think I missed it. I didn't highlight the comments of the other brother that shared his idea. I should have, again, tried to find him. But this screen, if I try to do anything like that, it will shut me down one time. Potter should take them all out again and get them, to boost the team's morale. Let's see if that happens. Chelsea need to focus on medical team. No, it sounds like if the medical team, again, find the players and kick them in the foot or in the head or in the shoulder. They're there to treat them when they get hurt. If anything, let's investigate how they train, the manager's methods and all that. That to me are things we should be looking at seriously. Coachella, again, I DM'd you the article. Okay, I will look at it in a bit. Again, just read this message now. Chelsea conduct medical review as players don't trust Boehly's staff or over injuries. Yep, I think that's the truth. Because the argument is that, again, they had the players have good relationship with those ones that were let go. Again, but I don't know how truthful that is. I saw the article too. Big up to you too, Francis Winters. Thank you for joining us. Up the Chelsea, let's have it right. Okay, that's your ID. Now I know. Let's not rush out our injury players and wait until when they are fully fit and use them in the Champions League. We can win it. I believe so. Again, as for the leagues, let's forget it. As for the league, I think so too. Why is Mudryk in the headline not happening for Chelsea at all? No, I saw something that said, again, we're not completely out yet. But I just wanted to talk about it. The truth is, I think he will end up at Arsenal because Arsenal have shown they're actually willing to pay up. They've upped their bid to 70 million euros plus. So for us to get him, we'd pay something close to 80 or something a little bit above 70. I think he's headed to Arsenal. Plus, when Fabrizio Romano reported about that, improved bid from Arsenal Football Club, he changed his Instagram page to a praying hand, which means he's praying it happens, praying the club Shakhtar Donetsk accepts the offer. So I don't think if I see any other things, anything more serious tomorrow, I don't think I'll add him again to the poster. But yeah, again, I just wanted to talk about it because Sky Sports is reporting that Chelsea aren't quite out from that at the moment. Chelsea is lost no more. Again, a surprise. We just have to cope with it. with the new trend we are facing. Again, God bless Chelsea. Yeah, God bless Chelsea. What a prayer! You're showing God you don't have faith. You don't think we're getting out of the situation. We should just get used to it and then say God bless Chelsea. Well, okay, Ty, coming to you, wanted to say something, bro, but I had to try to catch up with what we have in the chat, so it's not too long. You go ahead now.
Uh, I don't remember. There was something that I wanted to reply to, but I don't remember what it was. But anyways, I'm
You can talk about the clear out. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for that's the big topic, and it's something I can understand and I can agree with. We need to have a clear. I've said it. I personally, and I don't know how people will react to me saying this, but I still think that one of the key reasons that Tuchel was sacked was because of player power, because of disinterested players, them having the extra support from Todd Boehly, and we even saw things like that. Todd Boehly spoke to them after the sacking and said that he's there for them and all things. And to me, I think that was the wrong approach for some of those players, because I think that a lot of those players that have these player powers are players that have done some things that make them a big part in Chelsea's history now. I'm not going to make mentions of names, but we need to get rid of those players, because they're not. It's not only a fact where they don't really have the right attitude. They're not performing good on the pitch. So even when you play them, you're not really seeing them making an impact. They play and they look very depleted. They look out of sort. They don't look as if they're up to play. They look disinterested. They look as if they're being forced to play. And when you have those type of players, that's not good depth to have. That's not good. That's not a good player to have on the bench, because when you come on, they're gonna look as if they don't have any interest and they're just playing because they're just told to go on the pitch and play. So you need to get rid of those players. So yes, a clear out is very necessary. And even though this thing with Potter isn't really working at its brightest, it has showed us that we still have a lot of deadwood in our team, and some players that we thought could have been Chelsea quality are not really at that level right now. And if we want to be doing better, we're going to have to make that decision of, do we want to keep these players that are not really adding any impact to the team, or do we sell them for the betterment of their career and for the bettering of our team? Do we make that decision? And I think we may have to make the latter decision, which is or rather, it probably could be both. For the betterment of their career, you let them go somewhere else where they can thrive. And that doesn't mean that there was a problem with Chelsea, although I know that a lot of rival fans will say that and say, oh, Chelsea have run another player, but they go to another club and they do better. I think we have to make that rough decision, that we make this decision of letting these players leave because they have these big mentality issues where they're easily demotivated, or they don't like to be corrected, and all type of things. It's foolish. I've seen this issue in football, and it is really concerning. Players don't like to be corrected anymore. As soon as they win trophies, they think that, oh, I've succeeded at life, and things like that, and I cannot make mistakes anymore. I've done this. It's an issue that we need to fix. We need to iron out that problem, and I think the clear out is important. And there's a lot of players that we've signed that are not working out. So the clear out is a good thing, and I'm happy that the new ownership is seeing these issues need to be fixed and they're not ignoring it anymore, because I think it's a big issue we need to fix.
It is a big issue. We need a fresh start, because if you still have any, here's the thing. I'll come to Roger. I'd like to ask him maybe the most difficult of the whole question regarding the clear out rumors we're hearing. As much as it sounds easy on paper, it's very difficult, because you'd have to bring in, again, a replacement, clearly, if you're going to do away with all of them. And by the way, how is it even a clear out? How many players do you think are going to leave? If we're being honest, it's not like the whole team. James will remain, Ache will remain, the new signings will remain. How is it a clear out, really? It's just, sometimes we use again, terms or languages the wrong way. It just sounds like, woo, the world is going to turn upside down. If we count really how many players that are going to leave, it's not really a clear out. Even if it is 4 or 5 players, it's still difficult. I'm going to come to Roger to ask him the question, how easy it is really. Then we'll come to talk about whether this is, again, just a deflecting again. The talk of the moment, which is the pressure on Graham Potter to produce results, whether it's just scapegoating the players. We'll get to that in a bit. This says again, Noni is another Cho, not the guy we need right now. That's a huge difference, if you're being honest. There's a huge difference between the two players. Cho dribbles, Noni dribbles even more. And Noni dribbles with, again, you could say with ease if you see them. Cho also dribbles with ease on his day. But I think they're two different type profile players, honestly. If you be, I don't think he's going to be another Cho. But we move on from that. The new medical team I used, medical team I used to treating basketball players, not soccer players. Big difference in injuries of basketball players and in soccer. That's another argument, though. We don't know, but I'm not sure. I don't know where the new medical team are from. But you could say injuries are the same. If you're talking about like the physios or talking about, again, maybe the training methodologies also, then that's you say, well, again, the approach differs. Treatments is the same as long as the injuries are the same. Yeah, I don't know. That's funny, really. Nobody and no player will like to sign up for unstable team or a team that doesn't have a plan. Because as it is right now, Chelsea seems not to have a plan. Mudryk bid already lose battle between Chelsea. Again, and Arsenal, I guess you have every right to say that. I think he's headed to Arsenal. Watching now this clip again makes me see a lot of negatives, and he won't make it in the Premier League. Wow. Okay, we'll see. I hope you're wrong, and I hope that you're wrong, because we're talking about our club, first of all. We should bring back the Dr. Jose Mourinho who got sacked. She was really excellent. Hardly our players were injured whenever Canero was here. Let me say this again, DJ, you know I love you, bro. Before he gets to the doctors, the player is already injured. Again, if that helps. Before the player gets to the treatment table, they're injured. The doctor's job is to look at what's going on and how can we fix it. And if he repeats, in most cases, it's because the issue wasn't dealt with properly. Because, again, usually it takes the player going under the knife to correct most injuries and deal with it forever. Again, if you get my point, that's why I'm saying, again, I wouldn't get into the argument of whether, again, the doctors are the issue. I don't think they are, really.
Well, Coach, I would. She's pretty.
I really want to add to this. I really want to add to this. This is part of the problem at Chelsea. We create too many mirages. We allocate greatness because we either fancy someone or we like the way they look, or I don't want this sort of nonsense at our club. The medical problem at Chelsea has probably nothing to do with the individual employed doctors or physicians or anything like that. It goes to the head person. That's why when they got rid of the head guy, it was probably the wrong move, because this person will create a clinical structure that would nurse injured players adequately back to fitness and adequately enough to sustain fitness. You can't just pinpoint someone. I mean, I was listening to a Twitter chat where some guy, he kind of made a joke out of it because he knew what he was saying was not realistic. He came up with this Eva Canero thing, and he was saying, "Oh, I wish she was back because I like to look at her backside when she comes onto the pitch." And
but let's just move on from that. Then it's gonna distract us. Let's just move on to it.
Coach, we've got to be real. This is true. We need to stop this because it's not practical.
Does the discussion make her come back? We can't change anybody. That's my argument. The discussion doesn't make her come back in the first place. So let's just move on from it. Yeah, exactly.
It's a mentality, isn't it? We're discussing solutions to Chelsea, and solutions to Chelsea is not it. We need what I want the owners to do is to create a new, since they've got rid of the old, a new medical structure that properly nurses our injured players back to full health. Right now, it seems there are deficiencies there, and we don't have that. It's got nothing to do with individuals. In fact, these people, we shouldn't even know who they are.
Yeah, that's how I would have loved you to just stop it. Let's move on so that people don't distract us. Just saying again, it has nothing to do with any particular individual. No, What it again? Do they have magical powers? But that's, by the way, again, Kachila Big Up made again not get results on Fulham and Felix debut. Again, how your week been? Yeah, that's quite some mix. That my week is going well, but Dan, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for finding the time to join the show. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. And Kamara, I just cannot understand Chelsea these days. We played well, and at the end, we get beaten just like that. Okay, you think we played well really the whole time, the whole 90 minutes? But that's, by the way, I think Potter is not really good for Chelsea. Let him get sacked now. It sounds easy. It's never going to happen. Again, good luck, Chukwuemeka. You good luck, Jonathan's brother. You let me know. I want to know. Was there some months ago, there was reports going around that Todd Boehly would consider bringing back. Nothing has nothing has happened. It's simple. It was never about a single individual. Again, as much as I say, go for anybody that you know will get the job done. That's more important to me. I think Chelsea medical department is not functioning. Again, I'm not going to go into that again. Noni absolutely destroyed Martinez when PSV played against the Ajax. Very talented. I've followed him for a long time now. I really would want him, again, I want us to get him. I think we're getting closer, but we're learning. We'll get to that topic in particular. Have you watched Noni, his final decision? How old is he? Ask yourself that question. How old is he? That's what you're going to say. That's what the type of the final, again, problems, or maybe something you don't like that you see in 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and 21-year-olds. But as he gets into his, again, get into mid-20s, that thing will go away.
Coach, please, let me say this. All these people making these comments about this guy, who I've got to say, I've only seen the few sort of video highlights of him. He's an England under-21 international. I don't even think, I don't watch much under-21 football anyway. And I haven't, the little I've watched, I don't recollect seeing him. Now, all these people making these comments about him, I can bet you they haven't seen him either. Probably have seen him less than I have. So I don't know where they come up with these conclusions about him. I would trust Christopher Vivell and Paul Winstanley. That's what they're there for. If they've selected this guy, let's have faith in what they pick. It's only when we see him for ourselves and it's the wrong pick that we can actually come up with these conclusive comments. Right now, it's a bit of a nonsense, isn't it? Surely. You don't know the guy, and you're saying is this, that, and the other, as if you've been watching him since he started playing football. He's not. How old is he? 19, 20 years old?
Yeah, 20, I think. Here's the thing. This is a show, and again, let them express themselves. But the truth is, the discussion we have here doesn't change anything. But we're here to learn something. Maybe again, I don't, like I said, I countered his argument. Sorry?
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. Again, so we just, again, let's just move on with the conversation. If Potter has all the backings they say, why isn't he dropping the players that are in poor form, like Moises Caicedo, Koulibaly, just to name a few? Either he picks by name or not strong enough to do it. Again, that's a good, another question I'm saying. Yeah, and plus, I've said this, the fact that they're coming out making statement, the fact that he's clamoring, okay, every time he speaks how they support him, I think, it's concerning, really. He should be concerned. He's under pressure. And he's shown that.
That's why you should be dropping players. I don't get it. If you have the backing, then clearly the owners will not have a problem with you dropping these big name players and giving some younger players an opportunity. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I'm saying that makes some questionable. Nobody who's confident is going to mention every
go ahead, Ty.
Every conference that he has the backing. It sounds weird.
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat. I'll come to Roger immediately. Roger, be patient. After all, you're a lawyer, you're listening. So you come at us with, again, all the points where mishaps you observe from us. Yes, an injury prone. I will look at that again. I think the coach is not doing well, and this play and these are players, I don't think they like him either. Again, I sensed even before that statement of clear out came out, I was saying it just doesn't look like they play for him. They don't trust him. No more, again, player power, exciting times. Yeah, let's deal with that. But how easy is he going to be? I don't know. Yes, guys, please like and subscribe again. And again, also, like, first of all, like the video if you haven't. It takes just half a second. Boom, you're done. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because it helps us, again, reach a wider audience. The players are not happy with Potter. We've heard that again, and it sounded serious. Chelsea have quality players. I think it's how they relate, again, they relate with the manager. I'm a bit confused there, but I get it. We all make mistakes. It's a rebuild. We're needing, again, we are needing. Would you guys bring back a Frank Lampard, or is Poch or someone else better suited? Poch, again, the Chelsea fans will never support him, and I'm sure you know why. Even if they do, they won't support him fully. There will also, again, be division among the fans. For Lampard coming back, yeah, have you seen improvements from him at Everton? I'm not going to get into that, but it's Kami. Nice to see you again, brother. It's Saturday. I don't know if you work on Saturdays, but again, even if you're at work, thank you so much for finding the time to join us on the show. I'm going to highlight this, so we're going to talk about, again, if eventually it happens, who comes in. I don't see, again, any names out there better than, again, Luis and Enrique, as much as I don't like him, but I'd rather Mourinho come, really. Then you're sure what you're getting, no matter, even if we have 99 players injured, he still make do with one, and you can't disgrace us. Imagine, again, Arsenal getting Mudryk, and we are getting Noni, who is average. He's not Chelsea quality, plus he's injury prone. Okay, if that's your argument, okay, you keep it. Let's see. I hope you get disappointed by him doing well. Look at Nkunku again. Look at Nkunku injury. Okay, I get it. Noni Madueke is unbelievable injury. Unbelievably, yeah. Is it that serious? Again, I said again, I didn't want the club to sign Fofana for the same reason, and look what happened. Maybe they were aware of the situation and maybe they think they have a solution to it. Okay, Potter, Oswagu I'm sure there must be, again, Obin now, Kechiku, or some other Igbo name. But nice to see you, brother. I appreciate that. Please, Potter should be sacked. Okay, it's your wish. Let's see if that happens. I'm gonna stop here and bring in again. And bring in Potter's lawyer, Roger. Can you see? We're fighting so much that I don't want to say your name. But Roger, that's, by the way. How are you doing, brother? The clear out stuff. You've heard about it. To me, like, I'm gonna say what I think about it. I think it's that it's just designed. It was designed to deflect the pressure off of what's his name? Off of Graham Potter, to me, or maybe just scapegoating the player for the sake of it. I'm not sure. It's not something to me. Let's assume it's the truth. How easy or how difficult do you think it's going to be?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you too, brother. Again, pardon my bad manners. I didn't say hello to you.
Not at all. I listened to the show yesterday. I couldn't attend it because I had to sort out some matters with the family. But I just want to say...
Well, Potter is already in jail because you missed the court.
I really liked what Bobby said yesterday, his opening monologue. I thought it was spot on. Clear out. It could mean, by definition, it could mean 4 or 5 players, 2, 3 players, a dozen players. Who knows?
Is that really a clear out?
Well, each person has a different definition or connotation with that term. So it all depends what they define as a clear out. Does that make sense? That could be also including cancelling contracts, like the chap that Bakayoko, for instance. So it all depends. I'm not sure how much of a clear out is warranted here. There's just a plethora of things. We've got an inordinate amount of injuries, the most in Europe, according to, I think it was Sky Sports, where it was Darmish Seth that said that, and this is before the Fulham game, that we had 97, I think it was injuries since the beginning of last season. And I think the second closest was 81. So that's a huge difference, a difference of 16. That's massive. And now we've just lost Zakari, so we got 98. So I mean, these are huge figures. You know, if you look at Liverpool a few years ago when they lost a few midfielders and their centre back, their Dutch centre back, virtually everyone was saying that, well, you know, that season was a wash because guess what? They had too many injuries. Those injuries pale in comparison to what we have now. You know, we won the European Cup, the Champions League, because of Kante. Do you agree? He was vital to us winning it. And
yeah, again, it takes a good understanding of football to know, again, the amount of work he did in the midfield that day. But go ahead.
Exactly. And we wouldn't have won the Europa Cup without him. Just that one player, you know, and then you include, look, Tuchel, who I consider world class, we were on top of the Premier League until we lost both of our wing backs within, I don't know how many weeks apart. And we have never recovered since. So, you know, listen, they're not the main reason, but they're a substantial reason. And then you're saying about, you talk about Potter, well, he plays players that he shouldn't be playing. Well, Tuchel played Sterling every one of his games that he was manager at.
Here's the thing, Roger, help us. I get your argument. You're Potter's lawyer as usual. Even without even knowing it, you're defending him. The question I asked, okay, let me just say, the question I asked is, if there's, again, if the clear out, again, the rumors we're hearing about clear out plan and all that, how easy or how difficult is it gonna be?
Financially, it's you know, if you can't sell, you're going to have to sell players at bargain prices. But it has to be a three-way process: the buying club, the selling club, and the player. If another club wants to buy player A, but the wages are astronomically high, which they invariably are at Chelsea, then that buying club will say no unless we pay part of their salary. And I don't see us doing that. Therefore, what's our alternative? We either keep that player or we negate the contract. We terminate it. So how far are we willing to do that? It's going to be very hard because based on the high salaries of so many of our players.
Yeah.
So many. So this is not going to be an easy process by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be costly. And don't forget, we have new financial fair play rules starting in June, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to be stricter, so we have to adhere to them. So we have to be careful with what we do. Yeah,
so if anything, we'll be looking to sell. And selling them isn't easy because most of them are on a very high salary. You could argue Ziyech's wages, again, are the reason why he hasn't left the club, because he earns so much. No other club, again, is willing to pay him that much money. But that's, by the way, again, Roger, anything else you want to add to that before? Because if I catch up with Chad, we'll be moving to the structured topics. Not really structured, random topics selected from Twitter, just headlines and all that. Go ahead. Anything else you want to add to it, brother?
No, I just think it's not as easy as people think it is. But I must say that I think for us to move forward, long term, I'm talking about, we do have to move players on. You know, I believe last time I counted was over 20 players on loan already. You know, like a Lukaku, like a Cho, like a Bakayoko. There's so many players on loan. I think that the hierarchy needs to look at this and determine what's the best strategy going forward.
Yeah,
that's what I have to say.
I think it's something on paper it sounds easy, and again it made a lot of people happy, but actually it's not that simple. It's complicated. It's going to be it's very complicated.
Yeah, it's very complex.
Yep. Again, Mr. Polito Way. I was thinking, is that my friend Carlito? Again, I had to pay attention very well. Some say again that we are supposed to back Potter based on how Arsenal backed Arteta through his tough time. Again, at the start over there. I like it over there. Please again tell me when Arteta's tough time was losing 7 or 9 games I will wait for the answer. Again, if you're watching, you can help me with that one. I don't think I have the luxury here to go do the research, but I'm going to highlight this so that if we find the answer, we will look at it. It's important. Again, just talking to DJ, and here is Kalito. No one is coming to save this team. Zidane, Porsche, and Enrique. Please, again, they would touch this. They will touch this job. Again, the requisite magic wand is not available. Potter is staying, and some players are getting fired. I wouldn't use the term fired. If it's that simple, let them go ahead and do it now. It's not going to be that simple, like we've talked about. But I get your argument. And Zidane wouldn't want to take this job because the Galacticos aren't there in the first place. It's not the type I think would do anything special with this particular team. Porsche would take it.
Coach,
if you give it to him. Yeah.
Coach, I know you don't like my somewhat conclusive way of saying things, but I've got to say that the term clear out has been sensationalized by a lot of the social media. There is undoubtedly a revamping of the squad. That is the clear out. There is undoubtedly a highlighting of those that are underperforming. Now, the club is not going to sell them short because they want to sell them. But the influx of players that they're going for is going to push many players out. And you better believe it. It is on the card. They will not get rid of Potter for the reasons we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
The humiliation is too great. So they will want to see it work. Is he the right man? Time will tell. He's bought himself time because he hasn't got the players to work with. They're all on the injury table. But there will be a clear out. You better believe it. There will be people leaving at the end of this season, especially if all these guys we're linked with come in. I don't see any other way. I really don't, because what is happening now cannot continue. It's bad for the investment that these people have made.
Yeah, I think you make a very good argument there. And then, guys, and there you go. Go and subscribe to Worldwide Chelsea YouTube channel. I'm able to do it. Hopefully, my screen doesn't. If my screen freezes and crashes, I'll hold Kalito responsible. Because I saw him there twice. Again, I feel obliged to share the link to his the channel that we have good relationship with. Plus, Sadiq is my brother and Kalito is my brother too. Go ahead, Roger. You wanted to add to what Bobby just said so that I can catch up with what we have in the chat.
Yeah, Bobby, did you get a discount with Coach on that bus ticket? And don't forget, keep your receipt, Bobby. Keep your receipt. No refunds.
Well, I think Coach has cancelled my discount. He doesn't like my conclusive manner. But you've got
no. Here's the thing. What you explained was excellent. The way you explained it was excellent. But go ahead.
You got to have me around to explain or to counter some of the things these guys post on your stream, Coach. Because some of it is just, oh my goodness, you got to have perspective. That's all.
Yes.
You are the Chelsea perspective. That's why we're here.
Logical perspective.
Yeah. Again, that's why they're allowed to. Again, because here's the thing: if you don't allow them to express themselves, you're not going to know what they're feeling, and you're not going to get a chance to tell them, "I don't think it's like this; it's like that."
No,
that's why.
That's
again,
the point. I can't stop them expressing. I mean, by all means, please. If you want to say rubbish, please go ahead.
Enjoy it if that's what makes you happy.
You're going to get a response to it. That's all there is.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now Shawan says again, what's the decision to sell Werner? Lone Callum been saying we need a backup. We don't use the term backup here.
Rotational.
Rotational or competition for the player in question. And in the case of Werner, as much as I know, there are games when you watch them, like against Manchester City, he would have made those defenders work. As long as you can find him, spaces is thin. Again, just don't let it not be one-on-one, or let him not have a defender on him. But you will never see that consistently, because once teams defend deep, Werner is practically done. He operates, he's more effective when there's space to run into and all that. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that one. It's Kami. I'm off to work today, Coach. Again, I also want to say I feel so bad for Potter. The man was always so happy. Brighton. And after 3 weeks at Chelsea, he looks depressed. He snapped the other day, and he admitted, he said it openly. It's tough. He's agreed how tough it is. But again, I hope he does well. This for the obvious reasons, because for the obvious reason, the fact is Chelsea is the entity I support. Whoever is again the club's coach, I will support. The players that play for the club, I will support. But my job is to always look at things and say, I have a question here. Why isn't this like this? Why isn't it like that? And I have every right to do so. Christian David, never Lampard. That Mudryk is not worth anything near over 30 million. Everyone loving a few videos, and again, yeah, and wants him. I'd rather again have that Russian, the creative kid, Zarayan, or I don't know how you pronounce his name. Again, pardon, again, apologies if I got it wrong. Cannot sign yet. Never this Mudryk. Mudryk is a winger. They're not two different types of players. So, but I'm not going to get into that anyway. Yes, people keep liking the video. We're just 10 likes off, again, getting 100 likes. I think we should be able to get that in a few minutes, and I know we can. Most of Chelsea players are good. The coach have the most problem, by the way. Again, he read some of the match. By the way, he read some of the games. Yep, not responding quickly, and that's Ibrahim Danjuma. Donwana, God bless you. Nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're enjoying the show. DJ Savia said, despite reports to the contrary, Diego Simeone has no intention of leaving Atletico Madrid next season. Sources. Okay, Marca. If Marca says it, then it's correct. I think that's the biggest outlet there, news outlet again. In terms of when you talk about Spanish teams, this is great news for us. Making an offer for João Felix on a permanent deal, but they were smart enough to get him to sign a new deal before he left. So it's still not gonna be easy if we're being honest. Please, I'm dropping these comments with anger. I'm no more happy with Graham, but yeah. Anybody saying something? Yeah. Okay.
Would it be difficult?
Sorry.
I was asking how it would be difficult for Felix.
Yeah, again, he put himself in a tight situation. I wouldn't have signed that in a rush, really. I hope his lawyers read it. But let's see what happens. The club is too big for him to handle. We need Thomas Tuchel. He is the only man that can handle Chelsea very well. Here's the thing. Sorry?
Did you see the stat that's comparing Tuchel's last 18 matches and Potter's first 18 matches? They're the same win percentage. And Potter has a worse squad, and Tuchel had a better squad.
So you could look at that and say again, so we should give him more time. Actually, that's again, but yeah, I get the argument. It makes for a solid argument that okay, you shouldn't even be talking about Tuchel coming back. But that's by the way. But what I'm going to say quickly, if any, again, the managers we've had in the past has to come back, I think the owners will probably prefer Mourinho. Because if anybody can fix the issue and fix it, again, without you not being concerned about him losing the dressing room, maybe later on, but not immediately as he comes back. I think he's handled it very well. Yeah, go ahead.
Coach, when Mourinho was last here, he was let go, and we ended up, we were the bottom half of the table, and we ended up being 10th. Okay, so he invariably... Mourinho 1.0 was great, but the games passed him by. 2.0, 3.0, you know, he invariably leaves the club worse than he found it. It's simple as that, and that's just not going by one occasion; it's by multiple occasions. Mm-hmm. You know,
let me just say this quickly. As much as I understand your point, but I think he can be a short-term solution. Even
And then when he leaves the club, we're going to be worse off than when he found it, because he's done that at Tottenham, at United, at Chelsea, overseas also. I'm sorry,
Well, you could get, Roger, you can actually find someone who will give you solid reasons as to what happened there, what happened. But here's the thing, I can agree with you. Mourinho is not progressing as a manager.
Mourinho lost the locker room. He lost the players. They down tools with Chelsea. So I
agree with you. That's a solid argument as to why it shouldn't be him, but that's a chance it will be him. But my point is, here's why I agree with you the most. He hasn't, again, he's not progressive as a manager. It's always Samuel Mourinho with number 9. as pragmatic as, again, Hell. Again, just win. No matter how dirty it is, just win. It's as simple as that. I don't like that really. But yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, if they may well look at him and say, I think this is a man. Maybe Vivel will make them think otherwise. But yeah, I get the solid argument right there. So I'll look at it again and see that argument that he leaves clubs worse than they were they are before he joined them. I think I need to learn something from there. Again, from 17th October to 19th December. Wow. Okay. Answering that question. The year Arsenal were poor, Arsenal lost 7 out of 10, drew 2-1-1. Okay, let's highlight this and come back to this. And this one says again, Chelsea again was Arteta at a tough time was losing 7 out of 9. I will wait. So how do they compare? You talked about Arteta too.
Arteta ended up being 8th and 5th, coach.
Finished 8th and 5th.
8th and 5th, correct? It's like,
yeah.
Are we? And so many Arsenal fans were Arteta out. So now what are they saying? That they're sitting in a corner.
Some of them are still seeing it.
Sorry?
Some of them are still seeing it. Just for the fact that they
exactly. You're never going to, because they have an agenda or they personally don't like him, whatever the case may be. You're never going to be able to please anyone. It's simple as that. And maybe it's my age, and maybe if I'm 20 to 30 years of age and I grew up where we had such a huge turnover of managers, then maybe I would have that mindset. But because I was a fan since the early 70s, then I've been relegated multiple times, and Bobby would be the same, and we've gone through the rough time. So it's not a biggie. When I say it's not a biggie, I'm meaning that I've seen it, been there, done it. So it was normality for us growing up, while the last 20 years we've been somewhat sport and unexpectedly so, because I never ever assumed that we would ever reach these heights. But I think the younger generation of fans are, and I mean this in the politest way, they're spoilt. It's simple as that. This is all they've ever known is winning. And as you ask any 30-year-old Man U fan, guess what? They've done virtually nothing in the last 10 years. Their first 20 was great, but their last 10, it's cyclical. Look at Liverpool, were great. 30 years they did win a domestic league. So these things happen. It's cyclical.
I want to say one thing about this is that, yes, I've seen, very much the bad times, a lot of very scary times in terms of the club nearly going out of business.
Yeah.
I've seen relegation. I've seen the lower leagues, and I've seen the climb out of it. I've seen, that's why I appreciate the return to glory, because Chelsea have had glory before. I appreciate it very much. And one thing I don't want to see it again. It's like telling somebody who climbs out of poverty and goes to riches if they want to go back to poverty. Of course not. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
And, I know what it's like.
Oh, so my goodness!
No, but it's very true. Coach.
It's horrible.
But it's hilarious, really, the way you said it. Like
that's the ideal analogy.
I always got to put
here's what he politely disagreed with his friend Roger.
No, it's not quite that. It's just that sometimes we get nostalgic. There is nostalgia in those days. I remember as a kid going to the bridge. I remember. But there were also some very nasty things that happened then. Going to football back then was like going to a battlefield.
Yeah,
if you can be certain, a fight will break out. You don't even know if you're going to be attacked. You don't, you have to go with a band of friends for your own personal safety. We forget all that part of it, but we think of, some of the things that we had, the songs, the camaraderie, that it was very different, very different. Do you want those days back again? Of course not.
No.
You know,
Thank you. You guys can always tell us the stories.
Especially the relegation.
So
I
thank
hated
you.
it.
absolutely. So in a way, I think the point Roger makes, and many like him of my generation or those that have seen those days, is that the new younger set of fans, you're privileged, and you have to
Very.
appreciate where you are, because you haven't seen the bad days. We don't want to see the bad days, but don't take where you are for granted. I think that's what he's trying to get across, and I'm very, very much behind that.
Yeah.
That
Thank you very much for that.
Coach, that and the fact that in those days, a manager was given a minimum of 2-3 years at the very worst. Now it's a matter of months, and that needs to change to some degree.
Yeah. Again, Ty, again, just quickly, you wanted to add something. Okay, Ty, it looks like it's not close to again to his desk. Just one second. I'll be back on to the panelists. Hello everyone, Kim. So I just had to wait there to say hello to you, because I'm going to scroll past quite a lot of stuff so we can come back to the again topics we have lined up. Hello to you too. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. If it wasn't for the injuries, certain contracts would have had to be terminated. Half this squad is abysmal. The board is doing nothing about it, and Porter has zero control. Again, complete shambles. Again, I think a lot of stuff. Again, there are a million reasons that you can look at and say this may well be the reason, or the other factor may well be the reason. And Frank Uba, Pochettino is worse than Porter. Please don't mention Pochettino for Chelsea's job. If we're looking at records, he's actually better. He's gotten to the Champions League final, a few FA Cup finals. The question is, did he win any of them? So in terms of where he's gotten, I think he has a better record, but I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. I think tactically, again, he's too stubborn. It's always one approach. No, his approach is not diversified, so he's always predictable, which is why, again, he gets to a final, manages, again, outsmart him and win it. Sell them all in January. Sounds easy. Here you go. The link to my, again, to a channel I have a good relationship with. I say go and, okay, I missed the word sub, but I'm going to explain myself. Go and check out Worldwide Chelsea YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Tell them I sent you. Again, great content, great panelists there, from Matt Dibblight to Kalito Worldwide, to Fator. There are a lot of them, again, but you enjoy the content, again, and I'm being honest. Chelsea is like me right now. Okay, I'm going to skip that one. Kim, so you and I are going to fight. What you put up there. I'm sorry that's your case, really. But I apologize. I'm not going to read that completely. As much as it is funny to me, buy Felix right now. It's not that simple. We'll have to wait to the end of the season. I can get a good sample size. It's okay. I think we should keep him, but the signs are good. Osimhen is the type of striker we need. Or get Tammy. He is proper Chelsea. Tammy, again, if he comes back, I'd be surprised if it doesn't turn out to be, again, as much as I think he's more technically gifted than Lukaku, I'd be surprised if it doesn't turn out to be Lukaku 2.0. Osimhen, the way Graham Potter plays, pay attention. I'm going to say this again. Graham Potter isn't that much different from Thomas Tuchel. He plays predominantly with a 3 at the back structure. The most is a hybrid. And let me say, Thomas Tuchel, at least at Chelsea, played predominantly with a back 3.
They're very similar, coach.
Yeah, they're very similar. Likes deploying, again, wingers in the wing back position with attacking intent, not with defensive intent. They do that. They prefer the fluid front line. They don't like what you'd call traditional strikers because it disrupt the fluidity they'd like to see in the front line. And as much as I like Osimhen, and again, we're both from, again, I'm originally from Nigeria, and he's Nigerian. I like him, but I don't think he'd work well under Graham Potter. Potter would have to change the way he likes to approach the game to accommodate Osimhen, because he's a traditional striker. Yeah, he would do well in clubs such as maybe Manchester United, West Ham United. You could say Newcastle, but at Chelsea, there are questions whether Graham Potter will again adjust his approach to the game to accommodate him. So I wouldn't want to see him risk it. We are negotiating hard to save money on the transfers, because we have business people doing it, and then again we'll just clear out players We don't want for little or nothing. Make it make sense. Yeah, again, it doesn't make any sort of sense. That's why it's complicated. Will it happen? Yeah, it can happen, but it has to be a gradual process. If you do it again with a drastic approach, you be creating more. You'll be compounding the situation, actually creating more problems than you'll be able to solve from selling players. Yes, people, keep liking the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here's the thing: I just did an experiment. I put up a post saying, "Have you liked the video?" And 74% say yes, I have smashed the like button. 26% says no, I will do so. So if you turn this around, if this was another poll asking another question, plus the 26%, plus again with the 75%, you got 100%. More people will be interested in the poll than they'd be in liking the video. But right now we've hit 101 likes. So it's about reminding people. So if you're a mod, if you're there, keep reminding people, just like Liam Lane does. It does go a long way in getting them to say, "Oh, I haven't liked it." People, they just forget. But that's by the way. Thank you so much, Alex. Again, Toto says that let's give Potter time. He's a coach. Chelsea fans are complaining too much. We can be impatient, but we'll have every right to voice our concerns. Victor, Victor. Again, I know why. I just called him the name of a very famous Nigerian actor because his last name is Osagu too. Osagu Chisholm. We're losing all of our matches in the Premier League because of Potter. Please, again, Chelsea owners should wake up. Potter needed to be sacked. That's how you feel, but I don't think it will happen. It would take some awful, lengthy, poor performances for them to say, you know what, we're done with this guy. But that's by the way, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. As much as I enjoy reading everything you have there, if I keep doing it, that's all we'll do for the day. And we're not going to do anything. Yes, 8 subs. And thank you, Kimso, for always prophesying how well we do. I appreciate that, brother. Much love from me. Pochettino is a butler. Yep. Again, you could say that. Slonina made his debut with under 23 or under 21s and kept a clean sheet. Yep, that's what we want to hear. Let him keep the big name goalkeepers on their toes. He's still very young, but if he can do it, just give him a chance. Last thing I say is Arteta started in December. I'm not talking a combo of Emery and Arteta losing 7 out of 10 games. I don't see again anywhere where he lost 7 out of 10 games. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up, Cosmin Adrian. Considering that Felix became our 5th highest player, excuse me, in terms of shots on target in just 60 minutes. Yeah, that's ridiculous, really. What does that say about our front line this season? Even the entire team. With all due respect, not taking away Thiago Silva's consistency, but the poor performances of late has trickled down to everybody. It happens when the whole team isn't performing as a unit. Everybody you see everybody making some nonsense mistakes. So again, that shows you, the team is poor, really. Because he made a huge difference. We were attacking with intent, attacking quickly. The transition was much better and all that. Maybe that wasn't that on the Arteta alone. My bad. Yeah, again, so some clarity there to see again his start to life at Arsenal wasn't that bad. João Felix extended his contract at Atletico Madrid to reduce his yearly amortization fee. I hate that word. Amortization fee has nothing to do with Simone, who's staying. For your information, thank you so much for clarifying that. I wasn't sure why he would do that. We will absolutely be buying João Felix finally, a Hazard replacement, even different from Hazard. Let's see. If Arteta started after, that's Carlito. Yeah. If Arteta started again, if Arteta started after that poor run, then I will take Then I will take that answer back. Okay. Yeah. Again, you guys should slug it out there. What's this idle threat to clear out the squad? Do they think we don't understand FFP? We're already 300 million into a project. What level of losses again are we prepared to accept in a fire sale? It's not that simple, really. I'm not backing Potter. I'm not backing Potter's poor run between. I just don't like how many of us nailed the poor man again, even when he cruised through UEFA Champions League unbeaten run, many still wanted him out to fail. No, I didn't want him to fail, but I was looking beyond, again, at the wins and the unbeaten run. Again, Roger did the same. We're seeing that, again, there are issues, but those issues were so masked at that point. Like, they were very well masked by the wins and the unbeaten run that most of us weren't paying attention. And the surprising aspect, if you ask me, I'd say even the manager didn't even pay attention to that. But that's, by the way, just one more addition here from Carlito. FFP means we will be able to spend 90% of our revenue next season, 80% again the following, and 70% after that. Thank you so much for that clarity there. I appreciate that. You have to justify your spendings over a 3-year, again, a window. But here's the thing, the question I want to ask is again, there is some argument. I'm not sure why I don't have clarity on that, and I have to research it. So the owners are, again, because they're new owners, they're allowed to spend, they have the leeway to spend certain amount of money, again, that counts as investment, and I'm not sure how much that is. But I have to move on from that. Let's look at, again, the topics we have lined up. We're starting here. I want us to start here, really. Again, this shows you that it's practically done. I think we have to move on. I'm not going to talk about it again until I see something serious that indicates, you know what, Arsenal wants to pull out. Because I think we'll also be cautious of how much we're spending, even though that argument, again, we're allowed to spend certain amount of money because it counts as investment. It's still a risk, really. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. This Fabrizio Romano reporting new direct contact with will take place in the next hours for Mudryk deal. Arsenal will discuss with Shakhtar about adding structure after 70 million bid plus. It hasn't said that they've accepted that. Arsenal want to get it done as soon as possible. Player insistent to personal terms already agreed. So it's looking like he really wants to join Arsenal. But again, yeah, from his social media posts, I'm seeing that myself. Like when the news came out about the 70 million pounds bid, he put up a hands emoji on his Instagram post, which to me means I hope my club accepts this. I hope this works out. But that's, by the way, there's also, again, the news was out there that he's willing, again, to go to, again, whoever comes to an agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. I'm not going to talk about it again until I see something serious from our end. And this, again, talk of mutiny is premature in Porter's case. Even if sources close to senior players who have been granted anonymity, again, to protect relationships, have indicated there are individuals who are unsettled and want to leave. Is this rocket science? Really? No. We see that on the pitch. Roger, you want to come in if you want to speak about that?
No, I think that can be said under Tuchel also. There's several players. Listen, Chelsea, Bobby can attest to this. Chelsea have always had a very powerful player squad. You know, their power is much more powerful than the average squad, you know, to the point where, you know, they down tools, you know, and they want a manager out. They have, you know, you have we've been saying that we want powerful leaders, you know, leaders that will lead the team, you know, like a Terry, a Lampard, you know, etc. And but that comes at its own risk, you know. Having said that, too much power is not healthy also, especially for the manager. So there has to be a fine balance. And Chelsea historically have had very powerful locker rooms. So
yeah, because we've always had big name players. A lot of them have quite won a lot before they joined the club and all that. It doesn't help. But again, I want player power dealt with. The question is, again, following everything that's been talked about, the way they're saying the owners are going to approach it, how easy or difficult that's going to be. That's, again, let's see how they do it. I think it's going to be a gradual process, which makes it dangerous, because if it is gradual, then you still have leftovers who can actually, again, get the younger ones to start behaving badly, to let them know, look, you have the power to get this manager sacked. But that's, by the way, it's not as simple as it sounds. But what we're looking at on the screen here, it's no rocket science to see some players, again, seem like they don't want to play for him. Some are unsettled. In the case of, in the case of Hakim Ziyech, for instance, he's a fine player on his day. But again, since that the day after that, again, a horrible loss to Leeds United, he hopped on the plane, straight to Amsterdam to go try to orchestrate and move back to his former club. That didn't work out, probably down to how much we were asking and his salary and all that. So it's actually not, you can not rocket science to see why whenever you see him on the pitch, it just seems as if he's disinterested. They are all disinterested. Some other players, again, we've seen them sulk on the pitch. We've seen them
act like more than most.
Yeah, exactly.
So
so this is we don't even need, again, sources inside the club to tell us. So we move on from that one, really. And Ofori, my Niger brother, says, let's give time and rather than talk to the players. Otherwise, again, their unskillful performances will affect the rest of the squad. It trickles down. Bad performance from one player, 2-3 players can, again, drag the whole team down. If that makes any sort of sense, they should have a winning mentality. Fair point there, Coach, again, but many around me here doesn't address it that way. Yeah, again, unfortunately, people see things from different lenses. For us to be a successful, to be a success coach, again, for you to be a successful coach at Chelsea, you have to emulate Jose Mourinho's arrogance, arrogant behavior, and not be friends with your players. There's a fine line between, again, trying not to be friends with your players and being the coach that can always being authoritarian. Like, I think that's if you're not going to be friends like them, again, with them, then you have to be, again, always give authority, give instructions on what to do. I don't think it's a risk. You have to connect with them on a personal level in most cases. Yeah, but you have to find a way to strike a balance between being their friends and being their coach. It's no different from parenting. Being friends with your child and also parenting at the same time. Yeah, it's difficult to strike that balance. And if you have become too authoritarian, like always instruction, you're never gonna know how they feel.
You have to choose your battles.
Yeah, exactly. You have to choose it. But if you connect with them on a personal level, you know when something isn't quite right with them. Connect with them, you can actually help them feel better and play better. I believe Mudryk wants Arsenal. I'm starting to believe that right now. We shouldn't be pushing hopes around. We shouldn't. Again, Sky Sports report, again, they're reporting that we're still interested. It's not over yet. So, but I'm going to stop talking about that until we see anything serious. Chelsea fans need to stop thinking about this, again, as business as usual. It is not. Yep, good point. Delicious point right there. Boehly allowed a player consideration for Tuchel's firing. He won't be doing it again. Porter is saying, this highlights something for me. This just highlights. So Coach, he allowed that, and probably he's learned it's a mistake.
So, Coach, I got to say something. There's a person called Simon Jordan. Probably Bobby's familiar with him. He's a former owner of Crystal Palace, and he's a young chap. I would say in his 40s, give or take 5 years. And he just recently talked about speaking with Todd Boehly at the World Cup in Qatar. And he stated that it's up to Todd Boehly to divulge what the reason was, but he did say that had he been in Todd Boehly's shoes, he would have definitely terminated Tuchel's contract from what he gathered from the behavior of him. So
here's the thing: no matter what
I don't think it had anything to do with the players. I think it had to do with the personal exchange between them. So just to let you know.
Here's the thing, what I want to say. If you don't tell us what it is, I'm not gonna think otherwise. I still say it's wrong until you tell me the reason. I don't know if you get my point. If you're not gonna tell me, just again, with all due respect, let that person just shush you. You can't come and tell me that. To come and tell me if you went Todd Boehly's shoes, given what you've heard, you're going to sack Thomas Tuchel. That's not enough to convince me to start thinking it was a good idea for them to have let him go.
Listen,
just tell us what it was that took place, that transpired between the two men, or forget it.
No, but coach, it's not his job. And it's not his place, more importantly, to inform because it's a personal conversation.
Maybe, let me direct what I'm saying to Todd Boehly himself. If he's not going to say what it is, don't tell it to anybody. It's as simple as that.
Why? As a person.
If you get my argument.
No, I do, but I don't agree with it, because let's say I'm the owner of Chelsea Football Club, and let's say you're the owner of Crystal Palace, or former owner, it doesn't matter. You know, there's a niche, a very tight community between owners. You know, billionaires, they stick together. You know, they have a very, they just a very, well, I'll move on from my definition of that group of characters. But they're entitled to have a personal and private conversation between each other and talk about business, just like accountants.
But
do,
here's the thing. Let me
do.
say this, Roger. And I hope you understand my point. The guy in question, I don't know him that well. If I were the guy, I would never take it to the extent of saying, had I been Thomas again, if he was again Todd Boehly, he'd fire. Again, he'd fire Thomas Tuchel.
Why? He's entitled.
If I know quite well, if I get to that point, then I'm not going to say what it was that transpired between the two men. I would just shut the F up. I'm being serious.
Coach, though, it's called freedom of speech. You're entitled to your own opinion.
I get it. Yeah, that's why I'm letting you know my opinion. My opinion is that if you're never gonna tell us what it was that transpired between the two men that led to him being fired, just Just don't tell us.
Well,
don't get to that point. It's like you're making us go even more crazy.
No, okay, from your perspective. But having said that, I would like to hear if another owner that has owned a club, if a person that's owned a club before is basically saying, you know what, he deserved it, then yeah, I don't mind listening to another person's perspective from a person that has owned a club before and understands conceptually and financially the responsibilities of an owner. Did I want Tuchel fired? No, I still want him as my manager. I think he's one of the greatest managers we've ever had. But I don't mind him expressing.
So would you come out now and say, yeah, again,
say that again, coach?
Given what was said, if I were Todd Boehly, I'd fire him too. You can't, because you don't know what it was.
So, coach, can you say that again? You're going in and out.
So now, can you come out now and tell somebody who you're arguing with, given what you've heard, that again, if you find yourself in the same situation, you'd fire Thomas Tuchel too? You can't, because you don't know that. You don't know what transpired. That's my point. It doesn't make any sort of sense, because a lot of people in the Twitter sphere,
we agree to disagree.
Can I just say something? Let me just drop my point. It doesn't make any sort of sense that people out there were just jumping at it and saying, oh, you know what? Now it makes sense. What makes sense? What do you know that makes sense? That's my argument. I cannot go to someone and say, if I were Todd Boehly, that I'd fire him too. Fire him for what I don't know? That's my argument.
Coach,
there is 150% chance that what he did warrants firing. But if you don't tell me, I'm never going to say you were right to have fired him. It just doesn't make any sort of sense.
Coach, that you're entitled to your opinion. All it does, though, it reinforces from someone's perspective, from a person that's owned a club before, saying it was warranted. That's all he's saying. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying that's actually welcome input from my point of view. So we have a right to disagree with each other. I understand what you're saying, but I don't mind listening to what he said, because it adds nuance to the circumstance. That's what it does. Simple as that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me move on. Again, what is the impact of this player clearance, clear out on the mentality of the team going into the game? That's why I'm saying it doesn't make any sort of sense. If anything, even if the club plans such, it's a leak. We're hearing about it because there's some, again, a leak will always happen, because if they're planning that, they're not gonna let it come out now, because it doesn't help the team's mentality. So this is a delicious comment, by the way. It's not business, as Duo, it's chaos. You could say, yeah, to a certain extent, chaos is happening because they're trying to restructure things and all that. Again, come on, people, please like the stream. Again, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's been, again, an excellent debate so far, and I have to find, I hope I find space, because something else I want to do. Let's see, again, Khalito, again, my brother, again, I appreciate all the contributions. Tuchel was fired for multiple reasons. He did not want to play ball with Boehly. He made his staff angry, and he made, again, his players angry, but his biggest sin was dismissing the new ownership. Well, again, he's there to do a job. Again, I get it, and I'm not going to get into that argument. Yes, Bobby, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
I was just reflecting on all the discussion, and as I don't like the situation that we're in at the moment. I don't like the thought of playing Crystal Palace without even thinking we're capable of winning. It's scary. It's not Chelsea, and it dents our pride in our club. But what's going on here is quite interesting. And I don't think it's peculiar to Chelsea, because people forget, Arsenal fans, if you want to talk about delusional people and people that create that build the proverbial calf statue to worship. I mean, they are it. They're acting as if they've won the league, even though it looks like they can do it, but they've already done it by virtue of the fact of sitting at the top of the league, according to them. They're delusional people if ever there was one. But the fact is, when they weren't doing well and they were finishing 8th in the league, they were screaming and shouting and kicking and getting upset and Arteta out and all that sort of thing. This is very symptomatic of modern society.
Yes.
We are a microwave society. We really are. We don't understand, that there was this very famous clip of this guy that went to a school and asked the children where the chickens come from. And, the answer was Sainsbury's, And if you don't know what Sainsbury's is, Coach, it's a big supermarket, very common supermarket that we have in this country.
Yeah, I essentially was it again a store or again or a poultry farm or something like that?
Yeah,
well, they're correct.
It's kind of your equivalent to, I think, perhaps Walmart.
Safeway.
So they are correct in manufactured.
No, I understand. I was just being sarcastic by saying they're correct, but what they know at that level, they're correct.
Let me land. They're correct in manufactured principle, but they're incorrect in factual process. And to say that if they had said, if you'd asked that question of primary school kids 60 years ago, they will tell you that chickens come from a farm, at least. But, you wouldn't get that. Why am I saying this? We are the microwave society, which is very sad. We don't understand going through process. We don't understand building. We don't understand the pursuit of success. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants things to happen without understanding that there is a process to things happening. I do actually believe, having watched the evolution of the Chelsea current ownership and the circumstances with which it's happened, I think they are working very, very hard, day and night, to recreate a great club. And I think they're on the path. It's just that the pains of getting there, we have to walk through it. And we're in the process of that walking through it. But right now, what we're doing, especially in the fan base, is we're imploding. We have to have a target. We have to have someone to punish. Whereas there are circumstances where you do have to sometimes remove things, because I gave you the analogy of a car not working properly. Sometimes it's a part that needs to be taken out and replaced, which is what is happening at Chelsea in this rebuild. But we're struggling. The fan base is struggling. We need it to happen yesterday. We need it to happen now. Whereas it's probably not going to happen till at least another season. Sadly, maybe even or two.
Look, Arsenal haven't been in the top 4 for 7 years. Okay, I'm not saying that's going to transpire with us, but we should be realistic in the fact that it could take multiple years, as Bobby said. And the fact that our previous regime, that their plan, their business model was to replace someone, and it looks like 8 to 9 out of every decade, 10 years, it worked. And the fact that that business model has never been replicated by other teams is quite scary, because it is obviously a successful business model that has worked over 20 years. That's a long enough time to extrapolate and understand. And I remember Sky Sports, Rio Ferdinand and so forth, they discussed this, and it's true. Why didn't other teams? I mean, it's better for us that they didn't, because guess what? We're the winningest team in the last 20 years. And that's great, but no other organization, shall we say, in the Premier League have tried to duplicate it, and it's to their loss. It doesn't make sense, because it goes against all logic that you need time to progress, etc., etc. But you've got to give kudos to Abramovich. He had the cojones to do it, and do it consistently, without hesitation. By the way, I think the only time he ever really didn't want to fire anyone was Frank Lampard, and he admitted that, and that's why he wrote that letter to him and called him directly. Yeah. So this should tell you something, that it's not easy.
Yeah, just quickly, again, here's the thing. Let me just say something that I've said before here on this, again, on the channel here.
What the butler did it.
I loved, Roman Abramovich. I love the fact that he was a fan before, again, a football fan before, and he was an owner. I love what we achieved under him.
Yes.
But but what I have to say is that if you look at it, if we're being truthful, a lot of all the things were achieved under him came in patches.
But we haven't actually. So, Coach, I've done a spreadsheet where it's actually for the last 20 years, with the exception of one where it was 3 out of 4. It's every 2. It's every 2 out of 3 years. It's win-win, 0-win.
Yeah, it's still in patches.
Every 2 out of 3 years is in patches. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's still in patches. It has to be changed. Let me just land. Let me land. Can I land?
That's not patches. What's your definition of patch?
Yeah, it's patch. Again, one is here, one is there. They're not together. If you understand what I mean by that. Here's the thing. Let me just say what I'm saying. My point is, for us again,
it's wrong.
Okay, thank you for that. No, I get it. But let me explain what I'm saying. It's been okay. Let me just say, maybe no, don't worry about me. I have the skin is so thick, so I'm good. And I'm by the way, I didn't see it as an insult. That's who I am, and I know you know that. Let me just say, maybe you have a better language to explain it. It is, again, this year, then the next 2 years will struggle. The next year will struggle to make it into top 4, or finish mid-table. The next 2 years again, we win, and that is partly down to we hire a manager, get him to solve the problem that the previous manager, get him to stabilize the ship, because the recently fired manager struggled with the players he had at his disposal. Now, after that manager again stabilizes the ship, he gets the money to sign his own player. And then maybe the next year the manager wins the trophy, and then the following year he starts struggling, and then we fire him again. So that was what I meant by in patches. Maybe the language you use, it is after, again, every 2 to 3 years we win something. But they're not changed. There was never a time you would say we dominated, but in total you could say the past 15 years we dominated in terms of what we've won. But there's never a time you say for 5 years we won the Premier League in a row, of 3-4 years in a row.
But silverware itself.
Exactly. So my point is, and that is down to not giving managers, even you could say our most successful managers weren't given the time. Carlo Ancelotti, had he remained, you could argue that there's a chance we dominate for a while, winning year after year after year.
Yeah. So
something like that. Now, let me bring it now to the new owners. The new owners, they've set the stage. The future is bright. We have a good structure in place. Again, I think one more position, which is, again, the director of football role, again, a position. They need to fill that one. And you can say, we have a good structure. Then everything, the operational aspect of the club, again, will be properly streamlined. We have footballing people. There's no, again, the power is, again, it's no longer centralized. It's no longer dependent, again, with the decision that one plays. It's not longer about the owner wants a particular player, or somebody who has power at the club wants a particular player. It's about, again, a collective decision making. The director of football will look at how we're doing. again, technical director will come into play, the coach, the scouting department, they all work together now to make sure a player will get in, fits into the project, and the manager gets time. As long as you're doing well, you have the time. If things, again, even if we see that you're good enough, if things, again, start going down south, we'll still give you time because we'll know maybe something is wrong that we need to fix as a unit, not down to you and not just fire the manager. So in terms of that, that has changed. Managers will have time as long as you're doing well. And if we start dominating, we will dominate for a while because the foundation is there. My only concern is the immediate future, which I don't blame anybody specifically for the situation. It is happening for the multitude of reasons, if you get my point. But go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Yeah. So in patches means like we won a tournament here, and then 3 years later or 4 years later, we
exactly.
won a piece of paper, trophy there. But this is what we've done from 2004 onwards: 2, 2, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2.
Oh, so are you saying we should keep it like that?
No. I'm just saying, listen, in 19 years, we won 18 trophies or something like that. I have to add it up. But this is not, in the English definition, patches. We're the most successful team in that length of span.
Collectively, when you look at the 10 years or that decade in particular, we're the best. We emerged as the best team, the most successful team in England.
Yes.
That's fine. But my main point is we need...
Coach.
Okay, I agree. And I agreed, and I also use your time to explain it better. Does that make you happy now?
No, I'm just saying.
Or do you want to turn this into an English class?
No, I want it in writing and sealed.
That's by the way. Yeah, let's move on. Ty, you wanted to add something? I want to catch up with what we have in the chat. We'll look at the next topic.
No, after everything I just heard and I'm bursting and dying of laughter, no. I'm gonna let it stay where it is.
It's enjoyable when we mix it up like that. Again, I know Roger and I, we have good chemistry on this panel. Again, I know. Again, I'm fine, really. But that's, by the way, again, TB and TT fell out because, again, TB wanted Ronaldo and TT said no. Their relationship fractured from that. Again, since being one of the reasons. Yeah, again, there are a lot of stuff being named. Some say they want a yes, ma, yes, but again, I don't want to until again one of them comes out and again releases a statement. And this is the reason why this happened. I'm not going to believe anything I'm seeing there. Polito was unchecked conjecture. Conjecture has no value. So okay, supposedly an owner told someone something that someone won't tell us. What's something? What something is it? We're supposed to believe. Again, no, I'm not going to believe that. That was my argument. But if I could, again, if I continue from now to next month, I'm not going to win this argument. Roger is a lawyer. So again, he has a way of countering my argument and I get tired and say you win.
If you watch the interview, you can see his point of view.
No, I won't. There's no way I'll see it until you tell me what that thing is. But I really want to move on from that, really. That's who I am. I'm trained to always, take my time to, dissect and analyze a situation before before coming to a sensible conclusion. I don't just, believe everything I hear. And in this case, actually, there's nothing to hear. Of belief. There's power play from Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic. The attackers don't assist the strikers. They're just too selfish. Wow, that is some accusation right there. But I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Quite a lot of stuff to get to. Let me say with a bit of an exception for the OGs here. Let me see. Did I miss something here? I think something. Did I really? Tuchel was fired for multiple reasons. He did not want to play ball again. Okay, I think I've read that one. Let me see. Again, I'm just going to go to the very bottom. Apologies, guys. Let me see. The OG here says, again, Chelsea have made a verbal proposal to sign PSV Eindhoven winger Noni Madueke. At first, again, reported by who? Okay, that sounds like a Dutch name. Offered around £25 million for the 21-year-old winger. But clubs remained apart in valuation. Okay, thank you so much for that information. Let's see. Problem is no one understands the end game to this process. Again, what ball is building look like, the blueprint for a selling club. I don't know. Chelsea does not just want to get back to winning ways. They want to do so in the long term, which is what I want to see. Which is what, again, I used the analogy that got me into trouble in the hands of Potter's lawyer. Yeah, I want it's where we can win again, keep winning, and not again after every 3 years or so. No, I don't want that to happen. This is about being a more professional. Again, that makes more sense. Again, link to Titex YouTube channel. Be sure to go again to subscribe to his channel and let him know I sent you. Road to 800 subscribers. I hope again he gets there soon. So it's a process of a rebuild. Again, the fan base must understand that. We understand that again, but then again, something. Let me just say, Thomas Tuchel said, if again, the process. If results are not going your way, it's usually difficult to explain it to those who are not who are not insiders. Maybe if that language makes a better sense to you. Let me see. Big up time again. Arsenal. Just 1 second, Bobby. Arsenal's recent success is not built on a Champions League winning team. No comparison. Okay. Let me see. Again, I am all for trusting the process, but there has to be a better, more experienced and successful manager out there. Wow. Some players again will respect and fans will trust, which where again they trust again, like Bobby explained when the show started. Given for multitude of reasons, one, they would want to prove that they knew exactly what they were doing when they hired Potter. Ego comes into play and all that. Yeah, again, if you bring up what Ty showed the world on Twitter, his win percentage at Brighton was just 31%. They tell you they hired him because of his potentials. They believe, well, with a club like Chelsea, he'd have better crop of players and probably capable of achieving more. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. Let me see anybody that I haven't read their comment today. I'm almost there, Bobby, if you don't mind, please. I'm sorry about that. Again, why are we celebrating structure that doesn't exist? Okay, I get that. And Glenn says, is Graham Potter Chelsea's last ever coach? No, that's not that possibility, even if he stays 6 years more or so, because that's how I feel like, again, when arguing with Potter fanatics. Yep, it's as simple as that. Bobby, go ahead.
See, yet again, this reverts back to my point earlier about microwave society. We have so pampered ourselves, or the world has become so pampered that we've forgotten we've forgotten the things that made it possible for us to live in this sort of world that we are already.
Not
This
in the
world
States,
was
though, Bobby.
this world was built by brave men that were able to walk into a scenario based on a vision and not on a certainty. From a lot of these things you're reading out is people looking for certainties. Everybody wants to know, oh, what's going to happen? What is this going to be like? Oh, after all, so-and-so did it, so we've got to be like so-and-so. One thing I've said...
But the truth is, they're all coming from, again, a legitimate angle of concern.
Yeah, they are.
Go ahead, Bobby.
They're coming with their own... They have every right to say that. It's a legitimate thought process, but I'm giving what I believe to be a perspective. This is Chelsea perspective. And the if you look at the 2 or 3 shows back where I mentioned the fact that Chelsea Football Club, its greatness has always been built on doing things that nobody else has done before. We've always been pioneers. When we won the then Division 1, we did it ourselves. We did it through our own youth system. Everything we've won, we've created. Everything. Even when Roman came, he was really the first of his type. When he won things...
He changed football.
Yeah, in a way, there were always big money people owning clubs and things. There were, I mean, Blackburn Rovers was owned by this guy Walker, who bankrolled them. Football has always been about money, but Roman did it in his own way, and everybody wanted to be like Roman. What I'm seeing now is a new ownership in the process of creation. You see, when you're creating, when you're pioneering, you know, when the pioneers went from Europe to various other parts of the world, rightly or wrongly, whatever the issues were, they didn't walk into certainty. They didn't walk in there with a manual of, oh, 2 steps to do this and 5 steps to do that. They walked in there with a vision. They walked in there with a capability, and they executed the vision to create their dream. This is what is happening at Chelsea, and this is what people are struggling with. All of us, myself included to a certain extent, because I don't like the bad results. But all of them like, what's happening? What do we do? Because you're walking into the unknown. This is that. What's that thing about brave men go where angels fear to tread? This is what Chelsea's doing. This is what the owners are doing. This is the road to greatness. They are billionaires. They understand what it means to build. They understand risk. They understand bravery in taking risk. Yeah. You know, the risk-benefit analysis. They understand that in order to create, you have to step out there. People that win are never people that walk behind, are never people that live on assurances. But we've got this soft sort of wishy-washy society now. Oh, we all need to be pampered. Oh, our feelings have to come into everything. Oh, we need assurances. Why do you need assurances? The troops that landed on the beaches at D-Day had no assurances. All they knew is that they had to get there and they had to win. Many paid with their lives. That is the spirit that is lost in society today. And even though it's only football we're talking about, you can start to see it from a lot of different people. I'm noticing those that are talking the plan and the bravery of its pursuit, and the majority that are, oh, where's the plan? Oh, what are they doing? Oh, but what's Boehly up to? Oh, what's always looking for unseen assurances that you cannot get until brave men walk where angels fear to tread. Where Chelsea, we're in a process, we will succeed. And when these guys succeed, they want to get us on a platform that will last for decades, that will be even better than what Roman Abramovich built. What Roman has built has challenged these guys. You better believe it. And they will not settle for being less than or equal to him. They're here to be better. If not, what's the point in buying the club? And if we can start to have that little bit of faith, if we can just be brave as a fan base and say, right, we're in a process, let's just keep going. Yeah, we hate the results, but let's just keep going. I'm so proud of those guys. Do you know what? I was Potter out after that Fulham thing. I said it on your channel. I was furious. I was hurt. I was upset. I felt embarrassed for the club. But one thing really, really encouraged me. I saw those few Chelsea lads that chased after Mr. Potter. Don't give up, Graham. We're behind you. Don't worry about it. It's the players. It's not you. I thought, wow, these are the guys I want supporting my club, because it's when things get difficult, it's when things are bad. And yet again, I refer now back to the old days, the days that Roger was talking about, where we'll go into Stamford Bridge and you'll see 10,000 fans, 15,000 fans. We're getting our ass kicked left, right, and center by everybody. We're playing kids. We had an 18-year-old from the academy as our captain, full of children at one point at Chelsea. Remember, Roger?
Yeah.
I'm talking of Ray Wilkins, his brother Graham Wilkins, people like Stanley, what's his name? Stanley Locke, I'm forgetting their names now. Ray Lewington. What's his name that used to come out a lot on Chelsea TV? The guy that played for us at 16, our forward. At 16, he was 16 years old. God, how can I forget his name? But it'll come to me.
About Candy? No,
not Candy.
The Scotsman.
No, he's an English lad. Just a little young English. He was 16. He played for us on Chelsea TV. What is it? I'm getting old. I just forget names. But that aside, we had a team of children. Do you know what? Chelsea, in those days, we sat in the stands, 10,000 of us, and they made more noise than they do now. Why is that? It's that courage, that
Well,
gut.
I think they're a bunch of yuppies now, and
Well, you know what I mean? We never, do you know, even at the worst time,
we're a
when
quiet
the
crowd.
worst time when we were relegated to the old Division 2, and just before the turnaround started again, we were almost relegated to the old Division 3. Do you know, if you ask any one of those people that stood on a cold, rainy November day watching Chelsea get their ass kicked, if Chelsea would ever win the league, do you know, though it seemed impossible, deep down they believed they would do it. We always believed. We always believed. And that's what we have to do now. Believe. We've got more reason to believe now than ever before. We're richer than we've ever been, even under Roman. But we still get these silly fans coming up with these things. Excuse me for calling people silly, but you know what I mean. You know, where is the bravery? Where are those few that would stand at Stamford Bridge, the 10,000, singing louder than a 50,000 capacity Old Trafford was in those days?
Can I say something here? I just want to say something. Sorry, gentlemen, but
No, go ahead.
Bobby, in the States, that in American sports, especially the NFL, I know there's only 18 games plus the playoffs, and in baseball there's 182 games if I'm not mistaken. There seems to be a lot less turnover in managers. You know, when I say that, it's like they're given a couple of years at least. Very rarely is the manager gone after 1 year or half a year. The owners, and most of them are, I would say, American invariably in most of their sports, they're very patient. They understand that it takes time to build a squad, a team. You know, so I'm a bit optimistic in that regard, that they understand that they're not going to be as impatient as Abramovich was. Does that make sense? Because it's it's American culture.
Yeah, I think it's not again. They want again. How do I phrase it now?
Legacy. They're building a different legacy.
Yeah, and they want it to last. They don't want anything again. I think they're trying. Where I was concerned before, they were going to try to implement structures that's similar where you see in the regular business world, not in the footballing world. But that has changed. Yeah, that has changed. Now you can see they understand that football again is run differently. That's why we hired the technical director. They're also looking to get a director of football. They're not even looking at, again, basic names. They're looking at top-notch names. In that aspect, like I said, the structure is set. Everything will be again streamlined properly right now. The future is bright. My concern is the immediate future, because there are lots of issues we can solve by, again, snapping the finger. It will be very difficult. And I still understand we're working on the sanctions and all that, which has led to the issue we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
But again, let's move on from that. We have some topics lined up that we want to talk about here. Glenn, he says, again, this long-term stuff really getting to me. Who does it like that? Real or PSG, City? No, mate, they spend cash. Okay, let's see. The only thing that is left,
we're not spending cash.
Yeah. So again, he's entitled to his opinion there. The only thing that is left is for the players to come out and play their best. The coach is not to blame. That's again, Carmelina Matizo. Okay, thanks for that. And again, if you just joined us, this is your first time here, please make sure to subscribe. And if you haven't, make sure to drop a like on the stream, please. Again, that does go a long way for the channel here. I appreciate that. Yes, guys, like Bobby Fairview says, show me some other clubs that is again that this has worked. I want again specifics there, that what has worked. So maybe again, because I don't know what you're referencing. What makes you great yesterday? What makes you great yesterday does not automatically make you great today. You still have to work for it. Yep. Again, I like that one. You can say society and sports has become a pampered, but there can still only be one winner. So the argument is, again, mute, because everyone but one team will still always remain disappointed. That's for sure, no matter how well we're doing or anything else. I'm already settled in the reality of a rebuild. I'm not in a dilemma that we must be successful this season. Oh, just forget about that. If you're hoping to have a successful season, you're not sure what you're doing, really. Sulu.
Who's that? Luigi Pellegrini? Is that who said that?
For which one?
The one that
yeah. He said that. Yeah. Coach,
those are the fans. Those are the people. You know, that's what I'm personally looking for. Brave people that know that we have to go to where it's a little bit uncomfortable in order to succeed. That's life. That's reality.
Yeah, that's the truth. Again, like I said, the future is bright. We'll just let's just again, God help us. Let's find a solution to the immediate to problem we're having right now. I think we'll be fine. The future, I'm not concerned. And plus, we have again the type of structure we have. A consortium owns the club. We'll never go through that process of we're being sanctioned because of a single individual. No disrespect to Roman, it was painful. I cried on the show because of his statement, and he was no longer going to be our owner. But again, this is something I saw before time.
And I found that video.
Yeah. Oh, you found that video where I cried? I'm not going to say what I have in mind. But more importantly, one of the first shows we did, Bobby was there. The argument was that we should be careful. Again, we might get owners who are profit focused, and they will not be spending that much on buying every player because we want them. The time is right now, so we better be ready. Things will change quite a lot. A lot of people will be shocked as to how things would have changed. Coach, can we trust this gigantic project to someone who has won nothing? It's not all about him.
He's won a Swedish Cup, so he has won something.
Okay, yeah, if you really want to argue that. But some would say Swedish club and all that. A division is inconsistent with our DNA. Okay, you cannot keep arguing that. It's your opinion. So I'm going to go back to the panel. We have quite a lot lined up, and apologies. I'm going to really scroll past quite a lot of stuff here. Let's see what else we have lined up. We have quite a lot lined up. We haven't even, this is just one of them. So yeah, let me close out this one so I don't have issues with this consuming my memory. I have a lot of apps and some software I'm using too. Many clubs with American owners, such as Chelsea under Todd Boehly, are convinced that at £5.1 billion, again, over 3 years, the current rights are undervalued, and they're looking at the US tech companies to drive up the price. Wow. Okay. I really don't know how to respond to this one. Roger, you want to do that? No, not really a question, but it's something that's out there. We need to talk about it, but I'm not sure how can some of the club owners already there, again, in the UK are going to see this. Again, it's money for everybody. It's business for everybody. So I think they will buy into the idea. But how easy is it going to be to get the US tech companies to pay attention to that? And how are they going to help drive it up? I really don't expect that aspect. Is it more them providing more competition for sponsorship of the Premier League and all that? You help us, Roger.
I think they see the reason why that they determined to put a consortium together, because they believe that it's like a big frontier, and I'm going to use some really bad language, so children, cover your ears. It's
not really. Try again. Try and paint it over.
They're looking at a Super League. This is what they're doing. In America, it's like, you remember like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when Juventus and the Spanish clubs, this is what they're seeing. They're seeing more money, far more money that would be available to the marketplace based on a Super League, a European Super League, where it's the top 10, 20 clubs, however many it is. I can't recall how many it was. I'm sure Bobby recalls. And that's what you're looking at. That's what they see also. They believe, and they believe that it's inevitable, and a lot of people do too. They're looking at also that they don't believe that the Premier League has reached its potential commercial viability. There's many different things. Don't forget, America is very much, it's a country of the greenback, where they reach the highest potential for commercial viability in all sports. Like you name it. When you go to an American sport, you're not going there to watch the players on the field. The halftime show. There's halftime shows of basketball games. It's a a family entertainment. It's a whole day out. It's something that Britain doesn't have and Europe doesn't have for the most part. It's a different experience altogether. That's the term I would use, as an experience. While when you go to, for instance, football, soccer here, it's like you're going just to watch the game and that's it. But in America, it's very different. And there's so much more that's included. Like you look at some football teams that they have like shopping centers. Like you look at the Cowboys, for instance, and other places. It's so different. It's like the food. They have artwork everywhere. It's just, and you're going to see that translate over time potentially in British investments here, or American investments in British teams. You're going to see them change even the culture perhaps of certain teams in that regard. You know, I lived there 28 years. It's sports are very different in the United States than they are in Europe, or Britain, I should say. Very, very different. Completely different experience to the team.
Yeah, it is.
And not just the experience, but just like the amount of money. You know, it's big money there. Yes, it's a huge population, but I'm talking about.
Do you hear how much again Super Bowl commercials the companies pay for?
So I remember when it hit $1 million for 30 seconds years and years ago, and I was like, that's obscene. But now it's probably like 5 million for 30 seconds, 10 million. I have no idea.
I don't want to again pull number out of my wazoo and throw
but
it
it's
up.
A lot. It's
people.
Exorbitant.
Yeah, but it's crazy now.
Yeah,
I think it probably 10 times more. I don't remember but it's crazy. They talk about it during the shows and all that.
Yeah.
But that's, by the way, here's the thing. The poll that asked the question, do you trust the process? 40% says no. What is that? And again, God forgive me how I'm phrasing these things. And 60% says yes, we need to be patient. That's a lot. Again, people still trust the process. Okay, that's, by the way, but when you change the question to about Potter, 75% want him out. So it doesn't align.
No, what is that? Well,
it doesn't align. That's the crazy.
No, it does align. They're looking.
It doesn't.
They're looking post Potter. Let's be honest. That's how I interpret that.
Yeah, it doesn't align because again, trusting the process means trusting Potter. So yeah, but maybe again, that's, by the way, again. Here's the thing. Why I'm not going to read this, so it doesn't again sound like what's the word for it? That I'm vilifying anybody. Wherever you are, whether in the chat or on the panel, let's just what the language we use, so it doesn't come across to anybody as insulting. Language can be complicated. But I get it. Liam, again, I get the comment. Then that's why I'm saying this. Let's watch the languages we use, please. Coach, not that the new owners are happy with the bad results, but the financial implications of the unreasonable long contract handed to an unproven coach at top level put them in a dilemma. I get it. That's a delicious comment. That's one more reason to why it's not going to be easy to let him go, really. But again, I don't know. They should have started with a 3-year contract at least. That's the new thing. But it is what it is. We'll move on. We support the manager. I hope he does well. That's a first for everything.
Contracts don't mean anything in this field. Look, they gave the Newcastle coach a 7-year deal, remember?
Alan Pardew.
Pardew, yeah.
And fired him the following year.
Yeah. Pardew's thinking, I'm the man.
But I really don't want that to happen, because if it happens, it will simply mean something, again, that things are really, again, in an awful position for our beloved club. So I want him to do well. Discard players who have minimal contribution and are creative, like Jorginho, RSC, Kovacic, haven't played together, haven't played too long at Chelsea. Playing like that cannot be a differentiator for the team. Okay, again, yes, guys, please like and subscribe. Again, the likes are important. The likes do go along with the likes trigger the YouTube algorithm, and the stream will be pushed to people who are interested in this particular topic. So yes, keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Buy a Trossard again to replace Pulisic and Ziyech. One man to replace 2 people. Wow. Okay,
Well, 1.5,
Trossard.
coach.
Yeah, Trossard case is becoming more interesting given that his camp released a public statement regarding his his intention to leave Brighton. That makes it easy for the buyers.
Do you want him, coach? Do you want him?
Sorry, I want him.
Trossard?
I want him. I think it will make life easier for Potter at least. Let's start from there. Plus, he's a good player. Plus, he's shown that he did well. Even in that day, they trashed us. He was one of the standout players.
Yes,
which means it's not about Potter being the coach, but again, I think it will make life easier for Graham Potter really if he comes. He respects Potter, and Potter, you could say, is the player that gave him the exposure. He made him the player he is today. Why other clubs started being interested in him, because he did exceptionally well under Graham Potter. Let me ask you this: would any of you be saying all of this if the Saudis bought us and we were never in this position? Just quickly, again, Glenn is my brother and an OG here. Just quickly, again, Roger, you have your mic unmuted. Can you take 30 seconds to answer this one? Let's move on from it.
Too many ifs in that. So if we were Saudi owned,
why do you think I threw it at you? And Glenn he knows exactly what he's doing. Go ahead, it's up to you, Roger.
It's like, I mean, what position are you referring to? Like, as in we weren't sanctioned, or we weren't in dire straits with the injuries, or we weren't under Potter. There's too many, so you need to elaborate on that. Approach the bench.
but answer it the best you can.
So I understand if we were under a Saudi ownership, okay, and we were never in this position. What does this position mean? You need to be more specific, otherwise I can't answer the question. What does this position mean? Does this mean our position in the table? Does this mean our position with regards to Potter, or not having to change a manager under Tuchel? What does it mean? So if you could be more precise on that, elaborate more, Glenn, I'd appreciate it. Then I can answer.
Okay, so maybe he comes back with an expansion of that, maybe a more elaborate version of that. Trossard Brighton could be the Hazard of the new era. Wow, what a way to do again to save time and just put everything together. It's understandable too. American ownership is looking to maximize
of what new era?
Sorry, Ty.
Of what new era? Trossard is 28. What era is that? An era of what? How long will that era be?
Next 3 years.
Yeah, maybe he helps provide balance, but I don't know. Again, a good response there. It says again to maximize sponsorship opportunities as we can. Chelsea has left tons of money on the table. Money helps fund transfers. I want our kit to look like a NASCAR kit. Wow. Galito, my man. Wow.
That's funny.
But I like this guy. I like the way he puts things. But here's the thing I want to say quickly from this comment. I get the need to maximize what we get, because they spend a lot of money on player salaries. It's not balanced really. The income doesn't really help that much in terms of how the player salaries. That's why sometimes clubs get into trouble. They pay so much money in salaries and all that, and then end up not being able to get enough income to measure that or have a return on investment. But I fear, I'm seeing Todd Boehly being all for the Super League, and I think you already talked about that, Roger.
Yeah,
and probably will help them structure it in a way that once it comes back again, it sticks. It will not go away.
Sadly.
I think they've known what people dislike about it.
Yeah.
They're probably working on it right now, and once they come back again, it's not going back. It's going to stick, really.
And the teams that are entering that Super League, I mean, their income will be exponentially larger because of TV revenue.
Yeah. So it makes sense for everybody involved. So they will just find a way, because they will revolt from the fans also, not just the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So again, so I think they will find a way to make everybody look at it and say, well, it works. And I think the ultimate solution will be where it will not in any way dislodge the Champions League. Yeah, because in such a stage, this is not like a country. If it was a country, you say, again, a war, it could lead to a war, and after that war, people will accept the new normal. But in this case, no, change is so difficult. Talk about change being difficult. It will be difficult to bring out something that people will look at. You know what? This will be better than the Champions League. I don't see that happening. So I think there will be structuring something that when they say this is the plan we have, people will say, you know what, it works. Oh, the Champions League is still there. We can deal with it. I think that's the only solution. But it will come back again, and if it comes back this time, it will stick. It's an experience at halftime. They have all the halftime culture thing. They get dancers on the pitch, cheerleaders they call, and all that. Yeah, again, coach, please. How many years has Pep coached Man City? Club coach? Can somebody please help me answer this question in particular? We'll move on. It's also years. About 7 years. Yeah. All right, thank you for that answer. This one here, we're kind of getting again derailed from football to how to make money. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's something that what we have on the screen here. I wanted us to talk about it. And commercials make more money. So yeah, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. So far, again, we have only lost a sponsorship, i.e., again, World Fisher. But I do hope that we will see a big uptake in sponsor. Oh, believe me, that will happen.
You know what else, Coach? They need to expand our capacity from like 42,000 to like 60. And I remember there was one proposal where they dig deeper, and so that they can, because of the fact that Stamford Bridge is surrounded, it's like a peninsula where that you can't expand because of literally a bridge going over and a main street and so forth. So they were talking about digging deeper, very much similar to how they've done in LA. Trying to think where they had the Super Bowl last year. Even though that cost $5 billion, not to that extent though. But they need to expand the capacity because of the fact that we're a very small stadium when you consider the size of the team and its heritage. We should be a 60,000 plus. That will generate more revenue, especially with the luxury box seats.
Yeah. Just quickly, the next topic again, I'm going to scroll past everything and move to the very bottom. Apologies, but I'll try to get your subsequent contributions. Coach Morning, Chelsea Blue, if Potter wants to keep his job, he knows what to do. Yeah, again, bench the big name players. They're the ones, if any clear out, those old guards are the ones actually leading the revolt against them, if there's any. Again, we will take 4 hours to play a game. It gives me patience. And you are the person that you. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that one. Again, if my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bike. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that one too. Francis Dave, again, good morning to you guys. Again, I like the fact the owners again are planning to sell the whole squad. Yeah. Now you tell me how simple that's gonna be. Coach, if we get Trossard just to help us this season. But next season he will be a squad player. You think so? Let's see. Again, simple facts. When fans are see lots of money being spent, they will trust who spend the money. If it don't mean they trust who is on the sideline, that's probably the reason for the poll. For the poll answers. Yeah. Again, I think that gives me an insight. That's why it is like that. But that's, by the way, this one here says again, Chelsea are confident they will be able to sign João Felix permanently from Atletico Madrid in the summer. That is something, again, from one game alone, even those that were complaining, what did we do? He just extended. Why did we sign him? And we're paying him that much money a week and all that nonsense, 10 million for just 6 months and blah, blah, blah. A lot of them, just what they saw, they're saying, sign up, pay the money already. But I don't think it's possible. Ty, you want to start on that? Roger, you go ahead. It just looked like you and I know Bobby is at work. I think he said that, but whenever he want to come,
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, start us on this. Start us on the João Felix talk.
Well, I've never doubted that if we want to, and if he proves himself, that João Felix won't be retained by Chelsea. I think, despite the fact that there is no buyback clause. Chelsea and Atletico have always kind of had a reasonable business understanding, although it's a different ownership that they'll be dealing with. But I think the fact that they've done this deal will encourage any further purchase in the future. And if João Felix himself indicates that he wants to stay at Chelsea, doesn't want to return to Atletico, then it's a matter of finding the right price. I'm sure.
How much of a difference does it make if he indicates he wants to stay with us?
It makes a big difference, because even if they've got rid of Simeone, then it just shows that he doesn't want to be there, and I don't think it's healthy for them to force him to be there. And I don't think they have that much financial capability to pay ridiculous sums of money to entice him to be there. Sometimes you have to just let him go. Then it'll be a matter of how much he will cost. But we're not there yet. He's played one game, he's done well, but he's got a red card. So we don't know. And he's missing 3 key games, 3 major games that would have really shown us more of what he's about. So we don't know. I think it's a little bit premature to be talking about signing him up in the summer.
But he looked bloody good.
Well, anybody would look good that comes on in this Chelsea team at the moment.
I'm sorry, what he did in the first 58
Mommy, that's
minutes,
not nice, really.
but it's true though. It's true. What he did in 58 minutes, he looked exceptional. Not just
but again, if you know João Felix, you will know he's an excellent player. You will know that he's been in shackles under Diego Simeone. At Chelsea, I think he has the freedom, and I think Potter and Vivel and the hierarchy at the club know quite well. Again, him coming to Chelsea would be like him again. You unleashing again the dragon.
Coach,
really, he's that good. Go ahead.
What I watched the. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby. So you dropped. Sorry, you were talking.
I was just saying. Then I'll conclude. It's just that retaining João Felix, if he fulfills his potential, is part of the reason why all these underperforming players, especially our strikers, should feel threatened and will be threatened. They'll either be threatened with a sale or the bench, and there's no compromise there. And I'm so happy we're walking down this road now. The ownership have realized that success to them is not an option. They have to achieve it, and they want to achieve it much sooner rather than later. That's why they're investing so much in the playing staff. They want that squad that's able to give them success. Now, if you're on the field of play and you're not even able to, a chance is created for you, you balloon the chance, you can't create chances, you're playing like you've got lead in your boots, you're on the way out. I think the squad revamp, clear out, whatever you want to call it, is inevitable. It is inevitable, and some players will be feeling quite concerned, or should be feeling quite concerned for their position, because if they think after underperforming at Chelsea, they're just going to walk into any old team and be given the red carpet, and perhaps to entice them in the first place, if they do get to leave, that will be done. But they might be very surprised to find, especially if it's a top team, that all they're doing is swapping the opportunity from one club for the bench in another.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Bobby. I don't really want us to move from the breach, says my brother Glenn. We're not moving from the breach. I don't think we will. If anything, we'll buy again. The spaces close to Stamford Bridge to help us expand. That was never part of the plan. It was thought about. Again, we did talk about it at length. But again, the truth is, if they feel like they'd get more from moving, they will do it. But I don't think that's the case right now. Again, what we've heard, they intend to redevelop Stamford Bridge where it is. But let's see what happens. I hope they don't move. But I'm not the one, again, one of those bent on seeing it remain where it is. If it moves here, there's problem, revolt, and all that. Yeah, I'm not into that. The halftime show argument has become ridiculously overstated. I have heard this 5 times recently, guys. Again, get off it. Sports are very important in America as well. Again, it is not exclusive to England. Oh, yeah. Again, now it's a fight now. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, Carlito, but I love you, brother. And Carlito, because you're a mod now, you can always share the link to your channel And I think Ty shared the link to his channel. Please make sure to go check Ty Talks YouTube channel. I will add the link to his channel in the description section in a bit. When the panelists are talking, I'll get the chance to do so. Abramovich had issues with the stadium matter because he was Russian. The UK government didn't like a Russian all your money. Yeah, that's on paper. I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to start talking politics here. Suru Lere. Now, again, a new owners, again, should know Chelsea is a global brand. You think? Brand and happiness of many lives worldwide are attached to immediate and future success of the club. That maybe that one they don't know that much how painful it can be the fans. If to the fans if the club is underperforming, but I think they probably know that one too. Many are suffering heartbreaks because of our current situation. I don't mean to laugh, but I know where you're coming from, brother. If we're being honest, we should get Lukaku to perform at halftime. Maybe he provides his value from that aspect. Maybe that's something we can get out of him. Try and do. Oh my gosh, 5 keep-ups. Let's see, the bridge can be extended now if they win the purchase of the flats that came up for sale. Why is it that every time we try to do something somewhere, some people will come and say they wanted to? I think some company, Chinese company, bought the power plant that Roman wanted to buy them. What is this, really? But I get it. I hope we win. That was one option. Again, a problem from opposing fans. Okay, Red Boys. Again, if Chelsea fans are so upset, they should protest. It's really worked for Arsenal fans to get Kroenke out. You think Todd Boehly become a billionaire by paying attention to his employees revolting? He'd sack them all and get someone else. I don't think it'd move him out. Plus, again, he's done quite well, if we're being honest. I don't think it's perfect. I still hold, again, him firing Thomas Tuchel against him, no matter how you see it, until you tell me that thing that nobody wants to say. I think the Chelsea, again, I think the difference can be... Sorry?
You want to know what people would tell you.
Oh, okay, I want to know. Yeah, I think the difference, the difference can be shown by Felix has made them realize the lack of quality to cough up the cash, because the difference was like night and day, really. There was a report from John Cross from the Mirror, who sent a headline on Thursday, I think, saying Chelsea will play in Wembley Stadium for 5 years, which Stamford Bridge is being developed. Wow, that's a lot of time. It should be quicker these days, really. I'm giving Potter till after the summer. If they don't get rid of these bad eggs, then I might be more negative. You're getting there, really. You're just a stone throw away from being negative. I think he's just being cautious. That's by the way. We'll move on from that. Yes, people could keep liking the video and also do subscribe to this channel if you haven't. We move on from this one. I think I want us to keep him. Yes, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to drop quickly on João Felix. I've watched him at the World Cup, and I've watched him quite a few times for Atleti, and I didn't want him to start. I don't know whether you remember the pre-match show.
We talked about again how that it was risky.
Yeah, and you know what? I was proven wrong, because I thought he played so well. He was dynamic. I thought he created the front three to be very fluid. I watched the game again this morning because I was busy yesterday. I couldn't watch it again. And I was just very pleased with what he was doing, not just on the ball, but off the ball, as in fact, all of the front three. That's what I was looking for, runs off the ball. And they were dynamic. And if he can bring that to a team and he raises their level around, then that bodes very well for Chelsea. I was impressed. Was I impressed with his finishing product? No. But then again,
probably still a bit nervous. It's his debut.
Yeah. And you know what? He tried too hard. You could tell. Just like, I'm trying to think, Gallagher. Was it Gallagher? Yeah, Gallagher did. His first game getting sent off. or second game, whenever it was. He tried too hard.
Yeah,
I get that.
and Gallagher has stopped. Has he? Has it really?
No, but do you understand? It's like no, but yeah, nice one. But it's like I want to see a player try too hard in that regard. Not to the extent where it's cynical though, but it's refreshing. You could tell from his quality that he had, his skills set, his technical ability, not his clinical ability, that's for sure. But I just thought that it was a breath of fresh air, and it was noticeable. He
created chances with his runs, with the passes.
Don't forget, how many shots on target did we have against Man City in the first half?
A lot.
No, I'm against Man City.
Okay. No, I don't remember.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
Exactly, and he had 5 in the first half alone. It was night and day, chalk and cheese. The other, I just liked everything about what he did. He was a breath of fresh air. The other thing that I noticed about the game was the amount of times that we're just not scoring clinically with a header at corners. Yet again, we're not even testing the keeper. It's annoying.
And do you know what? I was surprised because it's been quite a long time since I paid attention to his age. He is still 23.
Yes. He's a ripe old age of 23.
Oh my goodness. But football, again, that is the common football fan. Once a player stays on the scene for, again, 2-3 years, if they don't look it up, if you ask them, they tell you Felix should be around 26.
Yeah, he looks like he's 26, 27.
Because of, mainly because of how long he's been, that is how long he's been on the scenes, again, as a big name player. Go ahead, Ty, you were saying something.
Hold on. So, but he joined Atletico when he was 19. So I mean that's why.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what amazing. I'm saying. But if you don't pay attention to those things, you think by now he'd be 26 without looking up the numbers. He's still 23
in November, so it's not. He's not.
What a bad move.
He's still very young. Go ahead. You were saying something. Okay, I refuse to believe that all players forgot how to play football. There's something else. Yeah, we sensed that before time. I cannot see how the fans should be upset. I cannot see how the fans should be upset with the owners. In my opinion, again, it will be very positive. I think the main problem people have is with Potter. That's the thing. That's the truth. Because the owners have done quite well, really. Again, I could be wrong, though. I think you're correct. I think that the anger, again, it's towards Potter, not really the owners. But every time, there's still the conversation, again, every time it gets to Thomas Tuchel, that's when people say, yeah, the owners, they shouldn't have sacked him. But that's, by the way, again, I know people don't want to hear it, but TT lets this team in shambles. It's going to take a long time to put it back together, really.
1-0 City.
Okay, but I hope you're doing well, Thomas Bass. Nice to see you again today. Felix has been class for 5 years. This is not surprising, fellas. A lot of Chelsea fans don't think he was going to be that good for us, but they've seen an example of what he can do. Yeah. Again, Marino, who? Again, I know the name you're trying to mention. Again, the young guys, again, she brought in, it wasn't good enough. Mount, Havertz, Werner, Pulisic. Okay, she brought in Mount too. Bad window after bad window. Okay, United 0, City 1. Okay, yep. Okay, just result of the game that's going on.
Is that
beautiful goal.
Jose Mourinho and Marina?
No, he's talking about Marina.
No, it is. It's their marriage.
Yeah, but that's, by the way, I'm going to move on. And I will share a short video. I think it's about 24 seconds or 30 seconds. Please do help me take a second. Watch that video and drop a like on it. Even if you're on the panel, I'd appreciate appreciate it if you can do that. It's about 30 seconds length. I can watch it. Drop a like on it. It will help me. Here's the link to the video. Please go check it out. You see it there. Have I shared it? Did I even share the link? Okay. There you go, the link here. Please go check it out and make sure, again, to drop a like on the video for me. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You can see it there right now. Okay, we'll move on into the next topic quickly. Where's the next topic here? We'll close this one out. I think we're getting there. Chelsea are now in direct contact with PSV at Eindhoven for Noni Madueke. He is the least. He's the least alongside Marcus Thuram as potential option. I'm not sure what's going on with the Marcus Thuram's case. But again, for Madueke, I think we're serious. We want to get him. But Ty, I'm concerned as to, again, what people have talked about regarding his injury record. Are you well acquainted with that?
Yes. Well, he's been having a lot of injuries, and when it's not like an injury where he picks it up and then he's back in contention for the next game. He misses 7 days. Sometimes he misses 24 days. Sometimes he's out for months. And he's always gotten a serious injury every season. So it started from 2018-19 up until this season where he's picked up and it's been muscle injury. He had a broken ankle in 2021, I think. 2022 he had a broken calf, I think, or something along those lines. It was a calf injury. That's what I'm sure of. So he has some injury problems, and and that's why I'm saying it's a match made in heaven, because not only does he have injury problems and we sign injury-prone players, but his birthday is also the same day as the club's birthday, so it's a match made in heaven.
So match. I'm dead.
I like it.
I don't do this again. You see how do you see the sarcasm there? Very well phrased. That if you don't pay attention, Ty, respect yourself, and I want you to go to heaven. If I'm being honest,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Ouch.
That was funny, Ty.
All right. Again, we should not focus on promoting every youth player. That's never going to happen. But I think we start seeing more and more of the youth player. Again, there will be a clear path for them because we're trying to establish satellite clubs. If that's for lack of a better term, I'm not sure if that's the most correct, where they can go develop and then come back and join the club. I knew you were, again, you meant a Marina. I understood. I know, again, I understand where you're going, and I don't want to get to that argument. Please watch and drop a like on this video for me. I've shared the link to the video. Again, this video in particular, please go watch it right now. The link, it's there. And make sure, again, tell me what you think about when I said why João Felix will, again, he will be better for us than he's been, again, for Atletico Madrid. And I'm serious about that. But please go check it out. And drop a like for it again on that particular video for me. So thank you. Let's not get into the old board again. Because of them, we're chatting all this big club talk. Yep. Again, things went perfectly, but they did make us the most successful Premier League over the years. That's the truth. Again, the only thing I would want us to learn is learn from their mistakes and become even better. The team that Thomas Tuchel built, Graham Potter and Boehly, has completely demolished. So I know you're here for the fight, but that's not with me. I wasn't the one that said that Thomas Tuchel demolished the team. Just scroll up a little bit, you will see the person that said that. So slug it out with the person. Just keep the fight civil. No punching in certain places and no mentioning any name again. Just keep it civil, but slug it out with the person. Not me, Kachila. You're British Portuguese, so you should know. He's a player I love so much, and I've always known that, again, he's never going to reach there under what's his name, Diego Simeone. And I feel bad, as we're hearing, it was you that told us today that Simeone isn't going anywhere, really. Again, Felix was class, watching him and seeing, again, coming through Benfica, following Portuguese ranks. But laughing. DJ, I know this is a mistake, but if I should read what you have there with the F and the U, both caps. I knew you would.
What did you say? Hold on.
No, it was a mistake. I know you mean, unfortunately, I know your phone is trying to show you they can read your mind. It happens to me all the time. But what if I start saying F you?
That's a good one.
That's hilarious. It happens all the time. That's hilarious. Unfortunately, he went to the wrong club, and everybody knew then what was Simeone going to do with him? Because by now, he should be again a Ballon d'Or contender really every season if he's playing if he was again had he gone to the right club. Mason is overrated again. Some goes to Kai Havertz again. Jibril, that's your argument. My concern again about Felix quickly. Let me just say this quickly. If he does really well at Chelsea, there's a chance by the time it's time to leave Chelsea, other club will be interested. Except if there's some sort of clubs that say, okay, we have the first rights to say, okay, we want to buy him. But I haven't heard such in the loan deal. Felix is way more clinical than everyone else at that club. Yep, it was just his debut, probably a little shaky. Chelsea have had again a 30 million offer for winger. Noni Madueke rejected. But if they get close to 40 million, then PSV Eindhoven will accept that. Who's their coach again? A very popular name. Was it Van Nistelrooy?
I'd have to Google it. I don't know.
A very popular name was mentioned, and that name was again. When I heard it, it's a name I recognize quite well. But again, I can't. Yeah, I don't remember who that is. Big up, Coach Messin. Big up to you too. What is Chelsea plans with Levi? You mean Lewis Hall? I'm really not sure. Rude Van Nistelrooy. I think Carlito is saying something there. Maybe he's the one. I think it is Van Nistelrooy because the name again is so popular that the moment that I saw it, I was like, oh, is he a coach now? I'm not sure.
Yeah, again, Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy. My screen was frozen. It took Felix 2 minutes to put in again on a plate from Mount and Kai, and both of them probably didn't expect to get the ball. There's a chance that's the case. They didn't expect them to be able to create a chance from them.
By the way, he had 5 touches in the first half in their box, their 18-yard box. So we didn't have any in the first half against City, just to let you know.
Yeah. And these are, you think I didn't know? I just wanted to get a bit every now and then that it's again good laughter is good. And I know when I saw it, I knew it was a mistake. I knew probably your phone trying to help you. I've cursed to someone that I wanted to say hello to. But yeah, I don't want to talk about that here. But the curse was a mistake, really. Your phone thinking smartphones ain't that smart anyway. But that's by the way. Again, Ruud the dude. Yeah, I love him, and I love the way you phrased it. Ruud van Nistelrooy, what a finisher! Again, talk about a striker being a poacher. He was one.
We could use him now.
Yeah, we could. The world again scamming Chelsea in the transfer with these ridiculous prices. I think the sense were desperate. Where we are at the table, how many players we have out injured. It's easy for us to look at it and say, if you really need this player, pay up. They know we're desperate, and truly we're desperate. Big up Kuchila AB, big up to you too. Yes, Van, again, let's see Van Nistelrooy. Chelsea has a great relationship with Atletico Madrid. Expect us to probably send 1 or 2 players their way as well. Again, Felix will be a Chelsea player. Exciting times. Be patient, needed. Again, be patient. Need help. Yep. Thank you so much for that. Desperation is a stinky cologne. that's a very American joke, by the way. Yeah. Thank you so much, bro. We'll move on from that topic in particular. Except if anybody else wants to say something, I think is a player I'd like us to keep. Hopefully, we don't find it difficult to do that. This one here again, opening a verbal proposal that's regarding Noni. Again, and DJ has told us where we're at with that one. If we get anything close to anything 40 million, I think we'll get the player. He's a player I want. Roger, I don't know if you have anything to say about him. Chelsea needs a reboot like a computer.
About him, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
What happened here, really? Okay, how did this happen? My browser trying to educate me on what to do. I think we were here.
Okay.
No. It just clicked back some security measures suggesting and all that. I was here. Okay, this is where we were.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I haven't seen him play. I know nothing about him. You know, I don't know much. I mean, do you rate him? I know nothing about him.
From what I've seen, again, but because we're looking at him right now, if they have any game soon, I'd watch it. Watch a full 90 minutes. Because clips alone don't tell you everything, but from the clips it shows his dribbles are seamless. He doesn't break a sweat when he dribbles. But you need to see for yourself to come to conclusions whether You
What's
think
his age?
he's? I think he's 20.
Oh wow, the ripe old age.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not gonna start saying because he's 20. I'm not too concerned about the injury people are talking about because some people say that about Fofana too. Again, I hope that's not an issue that repeats. But that's, by the way, again, like a computer before we start winning. Maybe that's what we need. Have you tried turning it off and on? Oh my goodness! Who has the Todd Boehly has the key? He's again the one that it's able to reach the power button, and it looks like he's in the process of pressing it and holding it for a serious reboot to even plug it off and hold the power button for around 30 seconds or so. So it loses everything it has in its memory, and then we'll move on from that. Felix McMount look like League One player. We didn't see any of them that much. Madueke is a taller version of again Ousmane Dembele. Obviously not as accomplished. Yep. In terms of experience, that's a good analogy of who the player is really. And again, Carlito, because you're a mod now, you can always share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. And Carlito, by the way, is the co-owner of Worldwide Trust YouTube channel. A great channel, great content. Again, good experience.
Hold on, what did I miss?
Yeah. You didn't know?
Carlito is what?
Yeah, he's a co-owner of Worldwide Trust now. Yeah. So Carlito, you're a mod now.
I'm going to.
Can always share the link to your channel, and I have good relationship with that particular channel. Only seeing clips on YouTube, not seeing him play. That's what I want to see. Even though you're English too, that's a shame. Apparently, Noni turned down Tottenham and Manchester United to play for PSG. I like when I see that from English players because it rarely happens. It doesn't.
You can say that historically, but the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I think there's
it's starting to change.
Yeah. I think the mentality of young English players has really started to change.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. It's noticeable now. It's far more common. I mean, it's still not that common, but it's far more common than it used to be historically, which is a good thing. You know, as a professional and as an individual, it's always good to live abroad and experience other cultures.
And again, as a player too, again, it helps you. So traditionally, you play like an Englishman, but once you play abroad, you mix it up a bit.
Yeah, well, not so much anymore. Don't forget, it's like you've got so many foreign coaches now, and you have an influx of so many foreign players that you do learn much more than you would have 20, 30 years ago. So playing at home. So there's truths to both of those. But I know what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah, but that's by the way. Apparently, Noni turned out. Yes, I've read that one. This one here says, please, coach, we don't need Noni. He's skillful like Odoi, but he's not strong enough for EPL. He will be another Ziyech and Pulisic. Wow.
All you need to know is that both of them are raw talents. That's what you need to know. He's very raw. He's a raw talent. He has a lot to improve, but I'm pretty sure if he's fit, he will offer more than what we have right now, and we need as much of that as possible.
Yeah, and we're signing him as a potential and hoping that when he comes in again, we can do more with him because we have a lot of good players surrounding him. Here's the link to again the Worldwide Trust YouTube channel. Please go check it out. You're not going to regret it. You will like the content, the short videos, and also the streams. So again, very talented. Again, a very talented panelist there. Majeb Lige, again, Uncle Jesters, Fator. There are some names that you'd like to listen to. They're always there. Carlito himself is always on the panel, one of the hosts. We watch too much highlights. We learned our lessons as Chelsea fans. Well, that's the closest we can get to. But if you can find good stats again, and add it to the highlights, I think it does help. A big up,
you're a stats man.
I haven't seen you. Yeah, I haven't seen you with Worldwide Trust. Again, I hope you're well, bro. But he's a busy man. Carlito, you have a question there from DJ for you, so you go ahead and answer. Thank you, my friend. And here's the link again, please. Before it gets lost, go check out Worldwide Trust YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Need hospital. Who needs hospital? The players. I don't see the need for Noni. Again, Hudson-Odoi is a nice player, a more experienced. Maybe that's a solid argument. But I'm sure before they went, they started going after him. They looked at their numbers thing. I don't know how they do it and come to the conclusion that we need him. As a career injury update, coach, there's no clarity as to how long he'll be out. I haven't seen anything. If you're in the chat, if you have seen anything regarding the length of time that he will be out, please do let us know so we can answer this question. And by the way, in the case of, again, Noni, it says Chelsea have made a verbal proposal to sign PSV involving winger Noni Madueke, as first reported by, again, some Dutch name there. CFC offered around £25 million for the England under 21 winger, but clubs remain apart in valuation. Chelsea still trying to tempt Marcus Thuram to move mid-season. Thuram probably will be a bit reluctant because he's always said that he will take his time to assess, again, his options and then make a decision. Let's see what he does. I'm not sure what he does, really. Again, largest concern for Chelsea is a centre midfield, Caicedo or Enzo, or maybe both, really. But we'll see where we get with that. This one here, since it opening again, that's something that I just talked about right now. A close source has told me that Noni Madueke has a buyout clause in his contract. Probably that's a delay there. Chelsea and PSV keen to get the deal done. That's a good sign. Noni is excited about the possibility of joining Chelsea.
That is false.
Okay, so enlighten us, Ty.
There is no buyout clause in his contract, so that is false. We have to either pay them £40 million, or we're not going to get him. Or at least that's what they're standing by right now. Anything could happen. We could always get him for a slightly bit more cheaper, but there's no buyout clause in his contract, so that is false.
Okay, given this statement from DJ regarding Zakaria, I would say Chelsea will probably not be in a rush to wrap up that deal. A lot of concerns about his fitness. How many times has he been injured now? Twice? Plus his fitness issues. I think the club will not be in a rush to wrap up his signing. And plus, we're looking to sign again a place in that area. As good as it's been, the injury still remains a risk. Okay. If he injured the most again, I still don't like Zakaria, but he's better. 1 second, Ty, but he's better than, again, anyone already in the team. Yeah, you can say that. Ty, what were you saying? What were you saying, Ty? You there?
Bruno Fernandez.
That's a ridiculous goal. That should never have been allowed. Never. Pathetic.
It's a goal, though, and I'll take it.
No. I'm talking about. What's it called? The other person was interfering with play while being offside. By far, otherwise they would have cleared it. Whatever.
All right. That's, by the way, if we was Chelsea playing, Roger would not be on the panel. But that's, by the way, he doesn't want distraction when he's watching Chelsea. But that's, by the way, Broski, I'm going to say this. You're a mod now. So you should watch your language, because others, you've been a mod for how long? You're an OG here. Others will be looking at the language you use. Again, let's see what we have here. Everything is a negotiation. We will get him. Don't worry. That's seriously reassuring, bro. And I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. 1-1 draw. Here's the link to Ty Talks YouTube channel. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I hope Chelsea wins tomorrow. Darren Blake, I hope we win a 2. Again, I hope that happens. I appreciate that. That name, either Jamaican or American, I don't know, or Caribbean. The Russian wonder boy, Kochila Zarayan, not, okay, is that the player you're referring to? Okay, not Zakaria. Okay, some mix up there. So apologies, bro. Forgive me. I feel like Kante should remain in this team. I think, again, Mudong, Peter, or Luca, nice to have you here, brother. Again, I think he will stay. Negotiations are ongoing. I think we're hopeful of getting him, again, to remain at the club. He's one player that, again, if he stays, if you can get 20, up to even 18, 20 games from him, that can make a difference in the whole season. The same player, he was half fit. Again, not fully fit, and again, he played the game that would beat Arsenal in the final of the Europa Cup, and he was the reason, one of the main reasons why we won that. The Champions League final, he wasn't fully fit, yet we played him because of how important he is to us. Arsene Zarayan, okay, and we won that. So I was mixing up the names because of, okay. And secondly, Chalobah should always, again, be let out because he has caused very many mistakes at the centre back line. That's of late. Something isn't quite right. I don't know if it has to do with his confidence or so. Just some mistake he shouldn't be making by right now. And I think he's actually overcome that rash decisions and some nonsense decision you see from him, which is very common with young players. I thought, again, he's maturing quicker for his age. He's maturing, again, beyond his age right now, actually, again. But something isn't quite right, given that he hasn't played for a while. And when he got the chance to play, we're seeing that primary mistake of him jumping even before the ball gets to him. By the time the ball is getting to him, he's landing on he's already dropping. I don't think he's a bad player. Something isn't quite right. Kante needs to accept a lesser role and less money. Availability is the most, again, paramount ability. Wow, now you're sounding like a teacher, but I like that, really. 2-1 United, Rashford. That didn't last. Something is quite wrong with City this year, if you're paying attention. I think.
Oh no, coach, it's okay. They lost to Southampton. No. God, can you imagine if Otto had lost to Southampton? You would have crucified him. Come on.
Can you let me say what I want to say, Roger? I know it's always about Potter for you.
It is.
My point is,
true,
I wanted
though.
to make.
It's true. You're crucifying Chelsea to losing to Fulham. Can you imagine if we lost to Southampton?
Here's the thing.
Please.
Here's the point I want to make quickly. The point I want to make is this: Haaland, it's more like their Lukaku. Yes, he's scoring goals, but in the case of Lukaku, he didn't score that many goals. I think he's changed a lot. And I'm not sure I'm not sure whether Pep has figured that out. He changed a lot about that team. Let's see what happens, really. Yes, he's scoring. He's broken all sorts of record, but the team as a unit is suffering. If that makes any sort of sense for anybody. Let's see again. According to Chelsea fans, Pep should be fired. City has so Calito is on the pot. He's in the Potter's camp. There you go. Let me introduce you your new colleague here, Roger. His name is Calito Worldwide, the co-owner of Worldwide Chelsea. So again, reach out to him. Chalobah is not a Chelsea quality. I said not all youth team players will make it. We know that before time. Noni is a great dribbler who keeps his head up and is always looking to attack. Yeah, more importantly, he keeps his head up. Haaland is a poacher. He's not a great footballer. Well, that's actually so truthful. He's not a good the best on the ball, but he will always get goals for you. Harry Kane is a great, the most complete, probably one of the most complete footballers you'd ever see. He can play as a 10 too.
Yeah, well, you know what? He choked.
Come on.
It choked when he was taking a penalty for England.
Well, he's a human being. He's a human being. And this year, Chelsea have now ruled out making a second bid for Benfica's Enzo Fernandez, while Brighton and Hove Albion, Moises Caicedo remains on the club's radar this month. Some outlets are saying actually we're already in talks. But for Enzo, I know that one hasn't ended yet. But let's see where that takes us to. And Brusky, again, you're a mod. Please watch your language, man. Some people are watching you. Again, they pay attention to what you do. Calito, not even a month after World Cup disaster. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. IBC just joins us. IBC, if you were listening, greetings to you, brother. Again, I hope you're doing well. Anything that you've heard us talk about that you want to, again, talk about, you want to talk about João Felix? We want to talk about, again, the club saying, again, people saying there's still the possibility of us signing him on a permanent is still there. Your thoughts?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it clear?
Now it is.
Go ahead.
Is it clear? Because I just got a new microphone, you see. So I'm just testing it out to see if it's clear enough for...
Oh, yeah, it's clear. Really, really clear.
All right, good. Yeah, big up everyone, man. Hope everyone's all good.
Big up to you too, brother.
Hola.
Hola. I've over the past week, I've just been here, man. I've just been taking it all in. I'm desensitized.
I gotta say, your new mic is just delicious.
Is it? Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, the output is good. It's excellent. Go ahead.
Really good. I'm desensitized. I'm not. I don't have a
And
reaction.
that's
I'm
the
numb.
penalty.
I'm numb. What's the word? I'm not. I don't want anyone gone. I don't want anyone in. I'm just here. You know. I know it's a bit weird my standing, but yeah, that's how I feel. With the game against Fulham, I thought we played really well. To be honest, unfortunate, obviously for our standards to say we played really well, considering the form we've been in, is a bit shows where we are in it. Felix played well. He did well. He did what he needed to do. Came on, running at man, trying to take shots on, trying to dribble, trying to make space. He was really well. Unfortunate for the red card. Rules are the rules. He will learn. He will learn from that.
More importantly, he will learn.
Yeah, he will definitely learn from that. Obviously, puts us in a difficult situation because obviously now we're not with him for the best part of 3 games. Which obviously he was really needed. So yeah, I'm just at the point where I'm not. A loss can't make me react. I don't know. I'm just at that point where it's whatever happens. You know. We just hope that Potter can turn it around. I hope he can. I back him because it's not easy, man. Managers go through bad form and they get scrutinized easily. But when they're on good form, people forget the bad form they're on, so they give them more appreciation. I say this with managers like Arteta. I remember when people were saying this guy needs to go when they were using him and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as, oh, don't leave your club, stay so we can continue to laugh at you guys. Now we look at Arteta as, look at this man. I look at Marco Silva. Marco Silva wasn't really appeasing on the eye for a lot of teams, especially with Everton. Now look at him now. He's taking Fulham to the heights of they probably never reached for a very long time. So I believe he will turn it around. Football's it's a turnaround thing.
Cyclical.
This time next year, we're going to be talking about Graham Potter. Like, oh my God, Graham Potter, what a man. All of these things, I believe so. But he just needs to turn it around. And will people give you the chance to do that before it's too late? No, because people want to see you fail when it's not going right. What can we do, coach? We just have to watch and see what happens. I saw reports of the board are looking to overhaul the squad because of the fact they don't even care about the way the team is. So players are looking to be sacked. But I don't know how easy that would be. I think that's just based off frustration from the owners. But I don't think that will be as easily done. So yeah, I'm just at the point where let's just see what happens this January. Bring in some young, hungry talent that wants to play. And I'm talking from the under 21s, even the under 18s. Just bring someone through, man. Just bring someone through that's enjoying. I don't feel the players really want to play for the badge anymore. I just have that inkling, and they may have had a new manager bounce where Graham Potter came in to see how it will go, and they just realized, oh, it's just the same old. I can't be asked. So they just have that I don't want to be here mentality, which is fine because we'll know who wants to be here or not, and you give the manager an easier situation for you to let you guys leave. So I hope this is done very quickly. I mean, no disrespect to Hakim Ziyech. I said it. I just don't believe he's the right fit for the club. I will never say a player is rubbish because I can't do 2% of what these footballers do. So for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, you're rubbish and you can't kick a ball and my nan can do that, that would be very ignorant of me. So I'll just say for the level of what I've seen at Chelsea, I don't believe that Hakim Ziyech is good enough for that. Maybe he will be good enough in Europe. I just don't believe he's good enough for the league. In general, I don't think any Premier League team will be able to be good enough for Hakim Ziyech. So yeah, I'll look at him leave. Jorginho as well. I think he literally has had enough. I don't believe he has any more strength in him to pull together or galvanize the squad together. I think he's just counting the days. Summer's coming, he'll be out of there. So I believe we're just on that point of staleness. And we'll come through it. We just have a busy month. This month is very, very critical in how we move forward for the rest of the season. Yeah.
How about the news about the clear out? What do you see from there? Again, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just alluded to it. I mean, that's what's got to
Is
be
it
done. It's got to be
possible?
done.
And how soon can it be
no,
done?
No, it's not possible. It's not possible. You can't clear out a whole squad in January, in a month of January. This is mid-season. So for you to do that, unless you're already gonna say, okay, I don't care what happens to us, or even the unthinkable of relegation, then yeah, go for it. But where are you gonna clear out a squad and replace a whole squad in January to save your season? I don't think that will be able to happen. But I believe that yes, there will be some clear out within this month where players could be gone, like literally first off our goal, even if it's going to be at a loss. I don't believe that the owners care at this point. I believe if you're not playing to the expectation for yourselves, not even for the club, for yourselves, because this is poor performances, and I'm sure something's got to change. So I believe that they will look into that heavily. We've got new recruitment people in place. Someone I've been screaming for the whole summer. We've now had these people in place. So, I believe that these people will be the best suited to make sure that the decisions that are done correctly.
Yeah, again, and thank you so much. Unfortunately, you're late. We're about to end the show.
No, it's all right. It's later than never. I saw that I was late. I just said, let me just come.
Yeah. Again, Ty, anything, your final thoughts? I will get Rogers and Bobby, so we can call it today. Your final thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Well, the first thing I have to say is glory, Man United. And then the next thing is
they are winning.
Oh, go ahead, Ty.
The next thing is, hold on, what?
Yeah, watch this now.
This is what I don't get.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, when it comes in regards to Nuno and players like that, and Caicedo and midfielders, I think we need.
So Ty, just quickly, see this update. There's no buyout clause for Noni Madueke.
Exactly,
Chelsea have been told.
I literally said that there's no buyout clause.
Yeah, so it's just about the player's valuation, really. But go ahead.
Yeah, so in terms of that, we just have to see what happens. I mean, we shouldn't be any rush to do it. I mean, we can always wait until the summer to do it. We have young players that deserve an opportunity before we're even considering to splash cash at the problem. And we need to be focused on getting a midfielder because we're not really in a good position in terms of that, and we need midfielders. And with Denis Zakaria being injured now, it's not a good situation. He was doing quite well for us, so we need to look at that situation and try to get a midfielder. But I mean, the whole clear out talk, it's fascinating, but I don't think that we should just fully believe in that and that we're gonna get rid of all these players just like that. It won't be that easy. If it was that easy, a lot of those players would have been gone in the summer, and some would have been gone already in this window. So it will take time. And Chelsea will not obviously want to have a significant large amount of loss, even if they're not able to attain a good amount close to what they spent on those players or get a profit on those players. So I think in terms of that, it won't be easy. But right now, our season looks like it's deflating, and right now we just have to see what happens. But it's the waiting game right now, and I've said it before. The whole narrative, it was beautiful. Roman Abramovich won every trophy possible with Chelsea, and now we have new owners. We're potentially going to have a new team, a new squad, and they're going to have to try to replicate those trophies won that are still possible to win. And from there, we see what happens. But right now, it's a situation where we have to be patient, and rushing into decisions is not the best thing to do. So we just have to accept that this is where we are right now, and it's not going to be easy, but it will take time.
And this is Simon Felix
be back.
reporting that Chelsea have not ruled out making a second improved bid for Enzo Fernandez. Go ahead, Ty, if you're still talking.
Yeah, and even with that, right now, I've said move on. I personally would move on from Enzo and just go get somebody else. Go for Enzo Lefebvre or go for somebody who is attainable
Coach,
this
Kai, sorry
window.
to cut you off.
There's a
I'll
couple of
let
days left,
you
so
guys in a
let's do
bit.
that.
All right. Go ahead, Ty.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead, Ty.
so
IBC was
in
telling
terms of
us
that,
he had to head off. Yeah.
All right. So I think we should just move on from Enzo. And Caicedo, I don't think that would be possible because apparently there was something about this agency and everything. But I just think we need to move on from Enzo for now, and we can always reassess that situation in the summer and see what happens and see if we can get him. But we need a midfielder now, and I think that this whole situation has pushed us to realize that.
Yeah. Again, let me get Bobby. I now have Roger and for us. Bobby, Are you there? Your thoughts on everything we've talked about?
Yeah, I've noticed Man United have handed Arsenal the title because this was a significant win for them. Look, we are in a building process. The squad overhaul is inevitable. It's a matter of when, not if. They will get rid of players and they will bring in new players. They're in that process, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, is happening in front of our eyes. Is this going to be a successful outcome? It has to be. The new owners know that. Will this season be a painful one? I don't know. Time will tell. The injuries haven't helped. It wouldn't have been as awkward if we had the injuries back. But we are where we are. It is what it is. The players, we know the ones that are going. That the club won't make a big noise about it because we need everybody at the moment. We can't kick them out immediately, but come summer, they will go. And with every new player coming in, will start to be a nail in the coffin of the underperformers. Should we back out from the Enzo Fernandez deal? No, we shouldn't. It's still there to be had. They've made their position clear. We keep working in the background to see if we can get it better. Should we go for somebody else? Why not? If there's somebody else better out there, why not? We should always be up to improve from anything we're doing. Should we go for Moises Caicedo? Why not? Should we go for somebody else? Why not? If there's somebody better. Everything is up for grabs, everything. We've got to be brave, we've got to be determined, we've got to be direct, and we've got to be decisive. That's the only way to improve things. Yeah. Should we sack Potter? No, we can't, because the consequences of sacking him is far greater than the consequences of keeping him. Should he start winning games? Absolutely, he must. Can he? Well, that's left to be seen. This is not a time for shrinking violets. We've got, even as a fan base, we've got to be brave. We've got to hang on to our hopes, hang on to our wishes, our beliefs, and hang on to our club. We can come through this starting Sunday. I think Potter should have beaten Fulham. Someone was giving an example about Silva and Fulham and yada, yada, yada. Fulham is a dreadful team. It's a poor team. It's just we were worse. Even in our bad shape, we created enough chances to beat them. That team is going nowhere.
They're not a poor team, Bobby.
They're poor
just
team.
Roger, let him drop. Let him drop. We don't have too much. Let him drop. When it comes to you, you're rounding up the show for us. You can respond during that space. Go ahead, Bobby.
I maintain they are a dreadful team. We were even worse. We were really, really bad. We focused too much on the cameo appearance of João Felix, and you saw what happened when he left, and the total collapse when what's that midfielder's name? Zakaria was taken off. The team has problems. The injuries have created problems, but even as we are, it's fixable. Slonina kept a clean sheet for the development squad yesterday. Probably means he won't play on Sunday, but I think we should start to consider him. Start the project now.
Yep. Again, thank you so much, Roger. Just give me 1 second. Don't ever let anyone tell you the league is won before the season starts. Every pundit was kissing, exactly, before the season, and they are a disaster. The fluidity is gone. It's as simple as that, which was the same argument I heard before we sign Lukaku that he's going to begin. He ends up being more problem to us again than as providing a solution for us. But that's, by the way, Boehly have sacked Havertz, Oba, Pulisic, Sterling, Kukureya. I've looked for you the whole day, Nehemiah. I hope you're well. Please do let me know. Pep overstayed. Better leave at the end of the season. Let's see what happens. I think Pep thought Haaland had a better link-up capacities. He's a fine finisher on his stay, but
We don't have the
link-up play.
capacity.
Yeah, he's not a complete footballer, really. United did not hand Arsenal anything. There are 20 games left. British fans, again, in their negative hyperbole. Let's see what happens again. Man United nicked a win. Man United should have had case sent off. Who? Okay, but that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. Man United, a win is a win. I think they picked form and they're doing well.
No, mate.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'd rather United win the league because they are English royalty. The English Madrid. Meanwhile, again, Arsenal are younger London cousins who shouldn't. Okay, leapfrog or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Again, this in the table. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get to the very bottom quite a lot, and again, I have something that I have to go take care of. Just quickly, Roger, your final thoughts on everything we've talked about.
Yeah, sure. Just very quickly about the United game. He's kicked while he's attempting to kick the ball. That's a penalty. So why VAR doesn't give a penalty, I have no idea. Get rid of it. Just like when we play Tottenham with Cucurella being pulled by the hair. If the ref doesn't see it, no problem. But VAR should step in, and that's where I have an issue with VAR. It's so flawed. Anyway, getting back to what everything Bobby was saying. He has some valid points. Fulham is not a bad team. They're, I think, sixth. I have to look where they are. And they've had some good scalps this year. So, and they're tough at home. It's simple as that. I actually thought we played better. And I believe I've listened to quite a few pundits, former professionals, that have said that João Felix was the best player on both teams that night for 60 minutes, 58 minutes, however many. So I was pleased with his cameo. Obviously not the sending off, but I thought he was dynamic and he made people around him better. Listen, I think we're going to need to spend about, I don't know, 250, 300 million in the next year to turn this team around. I would like to see a player like Rice. We need depth in midfield. Our midfield needs to be completely rehauled. I would like to keep Kante. Zakaria, obviously, but if he can stay healthy, at the very least for depth. And I think the midfielder should be, and a right back should be on number one concern. I would like to see us get Leao too. I know you're not that high on him, coach, but I really like him. I wouldn't mind seeing him join our team. But I think we need to address our midfield. And the only other thing I have to add is I really rate what's it called? The Cobham person. What's his name?
Paul
Chalobah. But he for the first time ever, he put doubts in my mind. I mean, he was putrid. He was horrible in so many facets of the game. Hopefully that's just a one-off and it's an exception because he's been solid for the most part. Yes, he's had a few blunders every now and then, but he's very young. Sorry?
He has the bozo gene.
The bozo gene.
Go ahead, Roger, please. I have to run, brother.
I'm sorry. But that he put doubts in my mind with that performance because it was really subpar. That's where I stand on virtually everything. We just have to stick with the process, and I don't think we could judge any coach until he has a reasonably healthy squad at his availability. You know, it's simple as that. And let's see where we go from there.
All right. Again, with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. And I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to Red Star FC. You are late, brother, but lateness is greatness. Again, I hope you're doing well. To Sonny, love this. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see that you're loving the show. I appreciate everyone. Keshawn, Gregory Smith, Thank you. Yes, we need a midfielder. We need a midfielder and players again that have confidence, because some of them doesn't have confidence. That looks to be the case. Kashan, Namaya Fawale, everyone else who's been in the chat. Again, of course, the GOAT. Thank you for always being here communicating. I hope when we have shows on the sister channel where we'll cover every club, I hope you'd be there on Soccer Perspective, to be specific. And Glenn, big up, bro. And you, Khalid, worldwide. Blessings, bro. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And also Liam Lane, DJ Saf was here. Liam Lane, where are you? The captain of the house. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. God bless us all. See you guys next time, and bye.
Cheers.